with them. But I think the biggest hindrance of their success was second down, because of the 19 second down plays they ran, 14 of them were 8 yards or more in the first three quarters.
Gains?
Huh? It was
Oh, you're saying the
second
Bears,
down and 8 or more, and 14 of the 19 in the first three quarters, Jeff. And so right there, you're not putting these guys in a second down scenario where you can use some deceit, whether it's a draw, whether it's a screen, RPO, anything that you're taking a majority of what you have access to using, you can't use because you're the distance that you got to try to get.
And on a day, the Bears did not permit a Kyler Murray touchdown throw. He just kept sticking it into the belly of these backs. A couple of big runs. In fact, 3 big runs. Connor DeMarcado, the 53-yard touchdown, and Benson, a 17-yarder. Those are the long runs. But Murray threw for 154, no touchdowns, but again, no picks. Bears won the turnover battle. They had a +2 in that one. Caleb had a tough day
for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 of 41 for Caleb with that garbage time throwing as well in there, 217. 68.9 the quarterback rating. And Keenan Allen, 10 targets, 4 catches. That was the most targets. Adunze, 5 for 7 for 104. He had that 44-yarder in there. Just a tough day at the office all the way around. Defensively, Stevenson, Hicks, and Edwards and Byard combined all had 7 tackles to lead the way. Baker, 12 tackles for Arizona. You got anything else?
Wide receiver, 26 throws to them, 9 to the running back and 1 to the tight end. And I don't know, is that because of the second down and significant yardage on a majority of the play? But I just still can't ignore Cole getting, his reps, or when Gerald Everett came in, he had 1 catch by the tight end. So, the Bears are just going to have to get reorganized and start attacking this home run of games they have.
Yep, 3 straight home games, beginning with New England. That'll be on Sunday at noon at Soldier Field. Drake May in at quarterback. They lost today to Tennessee in overtime. Detroit is beating Green Bay 24-14. Philadelphia holding off Jacksonville at the moment, and L.A. leading at Seattle some of the games. All right, so that's going to wrap us up. We'll talk to Coach Eberflus in a few. In the meantime, we hand it off to our post-game crew, Peggy Kaczynski and Yurko.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. Yurko, this was a tough one to watch. It seemed like a bounce-back game was not in the cards, and instead this was a desert storm.
Yeah, and the victims were the Chicago Bears, unfortunately. If you put yourself in a situation where you get the personal foul penalty by Dexter by going over the back and putting the arm on the back and leaving his feet, that's 4 points. And how you ever give up a touchdown the way you gave up the touchdown before the half is ridiculous. 10-9, you're feeling a little bit better about yourself going in at halftime. And what would have been 10-9? It would have been something else, but either way, ridiculous. Ridiculous. After last week's game against the Washington Redskins, you put yourself in a position the way you guys treated it and the way the team talked about the situation with Stevenson and everything. You guys continued to make this thing an issue instead of keeping it in-house because everybody's got loose lips and everybody thinks they want to be a commentator when they're done playing football. So everybody decided they wanted to have a comment. So they kept this thing going all week. Dare I say it was a distraction? I think it was. It was a distraction. And you go into this game on the road where you can't win, on the road where the coach's record is futile, on the road where you've got to play some of the best football while you're down a bunch of men. Sweat's not going to play. Jackson's not playing. The young kid that you drafted out of Yale's not going to play. You've got Gordon's not going to play. Brisker's not going to play. The first 2 series, your starting corner's not going to play. You've got to find a way to bring it in together, and you got to find a way to play as a team. Playing on the road is tough. The breaks start beating you. The momentum swings. It goes in their favor. And guess what? You've got to find a way to survive. That's what you have to do. You've got to find a way to survive. Unfortunately for the Bears, they did not find a way to survive. They found a way to sink. It's the worst I've felt in 2 years about a football team that I had a lot of expectations for this year, a football team that I thought was going to be able to to collect some victories and bank some victories early in the season, knowing how difficult the second half of the season is going to be. All that changed today. All that changed today in such a god-awful, pitiful performance. It was terrible. It was horrific. The offensive line is terrible. The offensive line can't block for your quarterback. They can't open up any running lanes. It's got to be tremendous individual talent by anybody to make something happen. You built this team differently, and you're being exposed for it now. You're being exposed because of the way you end up building this team. So there you go. If you can't stop the run, you can't run the ball, can't protect the quarterback, you can't put consistent enough pressure on the quarterback. They didn't even throw the ball. They didn't have to. They only threw the ball 20 times, completed 13 balls. Their wide receivers were non-factors. Trey McBride scored an early touchdown on you. Okay? They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to do anything because you did nothing. Except made stupid plays, stupid penalties. And at the end of the day, they end up costing you and they end up making everybody look foolish. I don't feel good about anything moving forward. At 4-2, I was feeling good about things, but you've got to come out and replicate performances every single week. You can't crap the bed one week, come back and stink the bed up again. You just got done washing the sheets, for heaven's sake. And now you're going to stink the bed up again. That's what they did. They are who they are. Right now, they're a very mediocre football team at 4-4. They're a very mediocre football team with very mediocre talent. And they've got mediocre talent specifically at the most important position in the league. Now, somebody might say it's not fair because the offensive line stinks and your general manager has got a grotesque inability to understand what offensive line talent looks like. And if that's what you wanted to surmise and that's something final that you want to put down on the table, feel free to go ahead and put that on the table. He does not know what an offensive lineman is, a quality one. He wasn't one when he tried to break in the league, and he doesn't know what a quality offensive lineman looks like. So all we get is replications of him. Mediocrity, crap, and it's unfortunate. So that's what we've got going for us, a mediocre offensive line.
Bears offensive line gives up 6 sacks of Caleb Williams to a team, an Arizona team
unit
that has no stars outside of Budda Baker, no pass rushing stars. They were the elixir to Arizona's pass rush today. And for the record, Tyreek Stevenson sat out the first 2 defensive series of the game. He rotated in then with Terrell Smith. Terrell Smith ended up leaving the game injured, and Tyreek stayed in for the rest of the game. So many issues in this game, from the defensive side of the ball to the offensive side of the ball to the locker room. We will take your phone calls at 312-332-3776. This is the Postgame Show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
This is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Power Plus. Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Take it from me. I love the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled lawnmower. It cuts my lawn in a single charge. Ego delivers the power and performance of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Ego's patented 56-volt arc lithium battery technology is the heart and soul of the system and what powers game-changing torque needed for demanding jobs. Learn more at egopowerplus.com. Ego Power beyond belief.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway. Exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
UI Health believes everyone deserves exceptional care. Their care teams are leaders in managing and treating complex diseases and conditions, utilizing the latest innovations and minimally invasive surgery. UI Health prioritizes personalized care from diagnosis through precision treatment. UI Health develops the care plan that's right for you. UI Health, exceptional care for you. Learn more at uihealth.care.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Dear football fans, Toyota's leading the drive to victory. The Corolla and all-hybrid Camry make big plays with style and efficiency. RAV4 is a versatile game changer. Highlander's got room for your whole squad. And the rugged Tacoma and Tundra control the line of scrimmage. They've all got available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive too. Visit Toyota.com or head to your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the Bears Radio Network on the flagship home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Becky and Yurko post-game on ESPN Chicago.
The Bears without Montez Sweat in this game today. And although they were able to pick up 3 sacks on the pass rush, they gave up 213 yards rushing to Arizona, a 6.3 yards per rush average. The defense definitely struggled to stop the run in this one, although they did pick up a couple of turnovers, a couple of fumble recoveries. The offense just never got off the ground, never got in the end zone, and the Bears are found still looking for their first road win on the season. All 4 losses now, all coming on the road. It's not easy, but they do come home next week to host the Patriots, where they will be early favorites to a team that lost today to the Titans and come to Soldier Field with a 2-7 record. So they got that going for them.
Yeah, they got that going for them. And remember, this average is down to 6.3 after a lot of late-game rushes where the Arizona Cardinals were just basically running it into the offensive line, the backs of their offensive linemen, because the Bears were trying to get the football back. And in essence, the Cardinals are kind of, okay, we've got the mercy rule here for you. We won't throw the ball long. We'll hand it to the running back. All we're trying to do is run the game out. So if anybody wants to look at that 6.3 and say, well, if it wasn't for the big run, no. There's probably about 12 rushes at the end of the game where, yeah, they gained some yardage and they had some negative yardage, but they weren't really trying to make an effort and they weren't throwing the whole game at you. So anybody that wants to feel good about that 6.3, don't.
They gave up 148 yards in the first half and take away that 53-yard touchdown in the final seconds when they were in the wrong defense. Matt Eberflus said at halftime that he had them in a pass defense and he should have had them in a run defense. But they still gave up, at that point, it was 9.3 heading into that final play. They were giving up chunks and chunks of yardage.
And he had them in a defense where they wanted to rush the passer. I've never played in a pass defense that didn't have the ability to play the run. So his explanation at the end of whatever, when he was coming out for the second half, doesn't make any sense to me. Even though you're going in there and you're playing a pass because how many seconds were on the clock? You didn't want to get beat by a long touchdown, right? So you're still playing, if you're playing a defense where you think you're anticipating pass, you still have the ability to play the run. So his explanation coming out in the second half is him trying to take the pressure off of his players. Sorry, I don't buy it. Even if you got a pass like rush called, whatever, you still have to be able to play the run, period. That's the way it is.
The streak of holding opponents to 21 points or less ends after 13 games, and the offensive scoring woes continue. Where do you start with the offense? Is it Caleb is still overthrowing DJ Moore and Keenan Allen?
I mean, half the time you're throwing the football, no catches can be made. The balls are out of bounds. Wherever they land, even if the guy's beating somebody, you can't make a catch. The minute you had Adunze wide open, he put too much air under the ball. Adunze had to wait for it. Other teams throw the ball in that situation. Adunze catches it in stride. The safety crossing the field can't catch him before he gets in the end zone. 7 points are on the board. Instead of that, the ball's underthrown. Adunze's got to stop. You try to get by. He doesn't get by. He gets tackled on the spot. You've got to throw the ball where it can be caught. And if you can't throw the ball where it's going to be caught in bounds, then you've got to find another pattern to throw. You got to do something else. Because time after time, the ball lands 5 yards, 6 yards out of bounds, and it's like, well, that ball wasn't going to be caught anyway. It's almost like in his mind, he's got a prevention of an incompletion at the top of his mind. So I'm going to put the ball so far out, well, it can't be intercepted, but guess what? Can't be intercepted, can't be caught either. So that's part of the problem. Now, I give the kid all the excuses in the world. He's getting killed back there.
Right.
He's getting killed back there. So I give him all the excuses in the world. But you're asking me, how does it get better? Put the ball in a position where people can catch the ball. Try to utilize the tight end. I have never seen an offense that ignores the tight end more than this offense does.
And Shane Waldron's play calling from the 11-yard line, they had 3 opportunities from the Arizona 11. All 3 went pass plays, incompletions. And once again, no Cole Kmet on the stat sheet, no targets to Kmet, 1 target to Gerald Everett that went for a 5-yard reception. The tight ends are not a part of Shane Waldron's offense.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem that way. It certainly doesn't seem that way. And Keenan Allen had the one big drop. All right, so here, when he does put it on target.
He actually had a couple drops. Yeah.
So when he does put it on target, then his receivers have a way of disappointing him. When he does put the ball where it can be caught, then his receivers in turn decide they were going to drop the ball. It's a team that's kind of dysfunctional right now. Everybody's taking turns crapping the bed. Everybody is taking their turn crapping the bed. They're not playing well. As good as they were feeling about themselves when they came back from London into the bye week, where they must have celebrated like there was no tomorrow, except for Brisker, because he's still got an issue with his concussion. It's a problem. It's a problem. There are no, saviors coming to save the Chicago Bears. The only people they can look for is the people in that dressing room, in that locker room. Them are the guys. If they can't turn it around between themselves, then this thing is not going to be pretty the rest of the way out. And I promise you, good things will not be happening.
Let's talk about that locker room, because earlier in the year after the Indianapolis game, we find out about the Leadership Council having to go to Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus and talk to them about being coached harder. Then this week after the loss on the failed Mary, we find out that, or we actually heard multiple players questioning the coaching, questioning the calls. Then Tyreek Stevenson, there's a decision made by management and also the coaches that he would sit out, be demoted from starting. As a matter of fact, let's go back to State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, where the boys are standing by right now with head coach Matt Eberflus.
All right, thanks, Peggy. Tom and I here as the Bears get ready to fly back out of town. Coach, tell us a little bit from your perspective how this thing went today, especially that late first half touchdown kind of put you in a tough spot headed into the second half.
Yeah, we had that penalty. We stopped them in the red zone. Even before that, we stopped them, in the red zone and got that leverage call on the field goal block, and that kind of gave them some win there, and they ended up scoring a touchdown. But to me, that was a really good stop by the defense. And then, into that half, the halftime thing to me, is I call it a pass pressure. That's on me. I got to set up the guys better than that, and I take full responsibility for that. But again, we just got to do a better job overall. If I'm just talking about the defense right now, the run defense needs to improve. Obviously, when you get a big run like that, that does hurt the averages there. Offense needs to do a good job finishing the drives and and protecting the quarterback, better. And I told the guys in the room afterward in the game, I said, guys, we all have to take an inward look. Starts with the coaches putting people in position, which starts with me, putting guys in position to succeed, and then everybody else, looking inside and making sure we're staying together as we do that, and then going forward for this next week. Because you don't have a lot of time, to think, oh, we can't do this, or we can't do that. But what we can do is circle the wagons and get together, look each other in the eye, and come up with some answers, and then move to the next week. And we have to do that.
From an X's and O's point of view, what do you attribute the struggles offensively to get something going? There were some long drives, but then you fell behind the chains quite a bit today. A lot of second and longs, I believe, that put you in a real trick bag in terms of play calling and so forth. Just overall, what maybe the defense was doing and what you couldn't do offensively.
Yeah, I would just say that offensively, when you get behind like that, it's from two things, right? It's a negative play on first or second down, and that's what you have. It could be a sack, it could be, which I think we had 6 on us today, or it could be penalty. Or you have a penalty that does that, and it's always those negatives that get you, and it doesn't keep you on schedule. So we have to take a really good look and staying on schedule. When we've played good games, the 4 games we've won this year, we were on schedule. And we had good down and distances. So for us on defense, it's really about the defensive guys. We got to do a good job, like I said, on the run defense. And that's something that we've been working on. I think a couple weeks ago we really had a really good job. Again, in London we had a good outing there, and that's got to be more consistent.
Matt, you're going back home, and there's nothing like getting a turnover to get the crowd back on your side, and you're +7. So I think it's something that's got to be a point of emphasis that the defense is working. It's just a matter of making sure that the players are in the right place, and then when they get the opportunity to either strip, make contact, or be more rerouted to the receivers, that's the philosophy that you have to continue to have.
Yeah, really. And again, today was all about run. For me, because we come out there in the third quarter, and they did basically just evaporated the whole third quarter because we couldn't stop them in the run game. So we have to be on the screws there. And again, last year we were number 1. We know how to do it. We just got to make sure with the same guys. So the proof is there. We just got to get it done and make sure we do a good job with the details.
Was the week difficult because of the player turnover, the injuries on the offensive line, the guys that are still out on defense, and trying to figure out what lineup fits you best in coming into this type of environment?
Yeah, I mean, you always got to adjust. You have to adjust to what you got, and that's what we did. We thought was best for our football team, for that, to get the guys the reps that were going to be in there. And again, we had some question marks. We had some guys move around a little bit, but again, we just got to find those answers.
Matt, in terms of this situation, you're a 500 team, but you got 3 straight coming up at home. Would you say this is a critical point right now to kind of get things going? You kind of alluded to at the beginning to everybody to look inward, coaches down to players, and back and forth there. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're right now in the middle of the season, and we got halfway to go, and it's important that we fight every single week, and we only got this week coming up. So we got to take a critical look at this game right here, because we can learn a lot from this. When you get beat like that, it hurts, and it's something that you must learn from. And we have to do that.
All right, Matt, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
That's Bears head coach Matt Eberflus, 29-9 the final. That'll wrap us up here from State Farm Stadium. Peggy Yurko, back to you guys.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. The Matt Eberflus interview with Jeff and Tom is brought to you by Finishing Chicago. All great finishes start with hiring qualified contractors from finishingchicago.com. Matt Eberflus sounded like he was taking some accountability for the play calling and for not putting players in the best positions to succeed. Now he's asking for the other assistant coaches and players to do the same and look inward. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines, take your phone calls. Who should be accountable for the Bears' 4-4 record and their lack of wins on the road? And should the Bears be buyers or sellers at Tuesday's trade deadline? We'll open up the phone lines and take your calls when we come back.
New cars and old friends. At the Autobarn Subaru of Countryside, they combine 3 generations of automotive experience with state-of-the-art facilities. They are a Subaru Love Promise customer and Community Commitment Award winner, consistently supporting passions and causes in the Countryside community. Autobarn Subaru is much more than a car dealer. Exceptional service, convenience, and price match with an unwavering dedication to the community. The Autobarn Subaru of Countryside. Shop online at theautobarnsubaru.com.
I never knew owning a gourmet Italian pasta business could be this profitable.
Thanks to our Old National commercial banker.
That warehouse expansion loan?
Oh, and the help with our equipment leasing.
But still, gotta say, it seems like he loves the Italian pasta business more than we do.
La nuova attrezzatura ha reso il processo molto più efficiente. I mean, the new equipment, it makes it so much more efficient.
Really dedicated commercial bankers.
Sorry, got a little carried away there.
Another reason to choose Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
If you've been seriously injured at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you may not know where to turn. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer and the managing partner of Morisi Longo & Associates. We are the ones you need to call when you've been injured, the ones who gather the evidence and deal with the insurance companies. So here's the information to keep by your side. Our number is 312-372-9600, and our website is moricilongo.com, MORICILONGO.com.
Hi, this is Dave Musil, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Electric. You've seen those free furnace ads, or those free with the purchase of any air conditioner. Well, we all know those are too good to be true. At Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Electric, we give an upfront, honest price. And I personally guarantee to beat any buy one, get one free offer by $1,000. Guaranteed. That's right, any free furnace offer, I'll beat it by $1,000. Guaranteed. So call today.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Hey Bears fans, Steinhoffel's is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. Steinhoffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is now open in Schaumburg on Gulf Road, with stores in Vernon Hills, Crystal Lake, Downers Grove, Harwood Heights, Schaumburg, and coming soon to Orland Park. Steinhoffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader with the largest selection to fit every style and budget, and is 100% employee owned. Shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
Illinois State University, like Chicago's favorite football team, welcomed a historic recruiting class this fall, the largest since 1986. Like our gridiron heroes, we're excited to watch these newest additions work hard, find success, and create a legacy of their own. And while a few of our students have suited up on Sundays, our small class sizes, expert faculty, and personalized learning environment will prepare every student for Hall of Fame careers. So be part of a winner and take the first step toward creating your legacy. Apply for admission today at illinoisstate.edu/apply.
Ready for a luxurious and reliable driving experience? Visit Bill Jacobs Auto Group for premium brands like BMW, Volkswagen, Mini, Jaguar, and Land Rover. Enjoy our Bill Jacobs Total Mile Protection Warranty, a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on every new car. Trust us to provide the peace of mind you deserve. Start your journey at BillJacobs.com. At Bill Jacobs, the cars bring you in, and the experience brings you back.
Uno's Pizza, handcrafted the Chicago way with the finest ingredients and buttery pie-like crust. Your taste buds will thank you. Find Uno's at your favorite local Chicagoland grocery store. It's called Uno's for a reason.
3rd down and 7 right here. Bunch set left, single receiver to the right, snap back, 4-man rush, and now they bring a 5th as Caleb goes deep down the field. Wide open, pops it over there. Far side of the field, it is Romadunze inside the 30 and wrestled down near the 23-yard line of Arizona.
Peggy and Yurko, post-game on ESPN Chicago.
Welcome back to the Great Clips post-game show on the Chicago Bears radio network. Rome Odunze, the Bears' leading receiver today with 104 yards receiving. Check the board across the aisle there, and Marvin Harrison Jr., the other top 10 pick, picked up 34 yards on just 2 catches. He was targeted 5 times. Keenan Allen was targeted 10 times today and caught just 4 balls for 35 yards. DJ Moore was targeted 9 times. He had 4 catches for 33 yards. DeAndre Swift targeted 6 times. He had 31 yards receiving to go with his 51 yards on the ground. So he had 82 yards, total yards. His streak of 100-plus yards games also comes to an end for DeAndre Swift. The offense is just discombobulated. There is no Cole Kmet on the stat sheet, and Gerald Everett was targeted once for a 5-yard reception. Maybe we'll get some answers from the Bears quarterback, Caleb Williams, who is standing by now with Jason McKee.
Here, Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. Caleb, obviously another tough offensive performance, 241 yards of total offense. What made this defense so tough to face?
I think they are just a one-on-one offense, one-on-one defense in the league, and how they run their defenses and things like that. And then from there, they just gained energy and momentum. And when you do that, we're stalling on drives. We're only getting three points, and not keeping up with or killing their momentum. Theirs just keeps growing over time.
Obviously, you guys, fought an uphill battle. Braxton Jones out, Kieran Amagaji out. How would you assess the pass protection today?
Yeah, I'd say the guys did a good job. There was throws that I could have made. There was about two or three protection adjustments that I could have made, and I didn't. And those affected us and the momentum. And then we got to keep eliminating flags on our side of the ball. It hurts drives, whether it's 2-minute, whether it's just regular drives, first drive. Excuse me. Or throughout the game, to be able to keep momentum, especially when we get things going, when we get the good things going, be able to stay out of those negative plays, and also the penalties. It would help us tremendously also. So, and then we got to be more detailed overall from all of us. Yeah.
You guys have been wanting to start fast. I know that was one of the keys to this game. What are some things that you would suggest maybe, or that you would like you guys to do offensively that you think could help you guys start faster?
Yeah, I think we took the right steps. We didn't finish how we wanted to in the first quarter, but we started moving the ball. We started getting things, and then we had a few negative plays, or we had a few penalties and things like that. And when you want to start fast and you want to get things going, you want to take over a stadium with your fans and energy and momentum and all of that. You got to be able to start fast. You got to be able to maintain it. You got to be able to not have negative plays, whether that's actual negative plays or it's penalties. Then you got to go out there and execute from top down.
Last question. I saw the last drive. You took a couple shots at the end of the game. How's the body feeling?
Yeah, body's feeling good. Just took a shot, and dude went low on me and wrapped up my ankle and gator rolled, and that was that.
All right, thanks for your time. Yeah. Back to you, Peggy, up in the booth.
All right, thank you, Jason. The Caleb Williams interview is brought to you by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. See ZZ Top on November 15th at Hard Rock Live. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Not only was Caleb Williams sacked 6 times, but 12 quarterback hits for an Arizona defense made up of a bunch of guys that are just playing for another job, to be honest with you. No real stars on that team outside of Budda Baker, and boy, they looked like stars today. 12 quarterback hits for Arizona. Bears defense with 3 quarterback hits to go along with their 3 sacks as well. The Bears may have some help wanted ads at Hallis Hall this week. Let's talk about the injuries. They went into the game without Montez Sweat, no Jaquan Brisker, no Kyler Gordon. They lost Andrew Billings in the game to a chest injury, lost Terrell Smith, who started in place of Tyreek Stevenson, lost Jalen Jones, who is a key figure on special teams. Then on the offensive side of the ball, they were already without left tackle Braxton Jones, Ryan Bates, Karan Amagaji. Bill Murray was placed on IR earlier this week, and they lose Darnell Wright, another offensive lineman, to a knee injury in this game. And you heard Caleb Williams just now talking about he feels okay, but boy, he took some hits at the end of the game. At one point, 3 consecutive sacks of Caleb Williams. You almost wondered why they kept him in the game.
Peggy, I worry. And what I worry about is when the ship is going down, everybody starts heading for the lifeboats. And the lifeboats in this scenario is, God, I'm hurt. I don't feel so good. So that's one of my areas of concern. I hope nobody is injured too badly. Anytime you talk about a chest muscle with Billingsley, my guy, you worry about torn muscle. If there's a torn muscle there, you can kiss his season goodbye.
And they ruled him out almost immediately.
Yeah, so you can kiss his season goodbye. You look at Darnell Wright with the knee, depending upon how bad that knee is or is not. You concern yourself. But let me tell you, when it's not going right, it's easy to stay not healthy. When things ain't going well, it's easy to feel not so good, to stay in the MASH unit, to stay in the tent while everybody's out on the front getting things done or trying to get things done. It's easy to stay in the tent, sit on the bench when the Breaks are beating the boys out there. So it'll be interesting to see what this thing looks like as they start moving forward. If they don't turn this thing around, they're not going to have to put out help signs just because they need some temporary help. They're going to be permanent help coming in here. Permanent help. And what I mean by that is there'll be people looking for Paul Arpin moving companies to move their stuff out of town because that's where they're going. And that includes everyone. Everyone will be moving out of town. You're 4-4. You're better off than you were last year. But the cream puff schedule that you've had is the first 9 games of the year. There's one left. And I didn't expect to be 4-4 after 8 by any stretch of the imagination. And I certainly don't intend to be 4-5 after 9. If you're 4-5 after 9, dare I say you're looking at a top 10 pick next year. Because that's what you're going to be doing. If for some reason or another you can't find out the way to muster a victory against the New England Patriots, you might as well be knocking on top 10 picks door next year. And then the buses are coming. The buses, the moving trucks, they're coming. You'll be 7 offensive coaches, 7 defensive coaches. You're going to have some, some of those coaches, the ancillary assistant defensive line coaches, assistant running back coaches, quality control coaches. Hasta la bye-bye. That's what's at stake. And when the new regime comes in, what I mean by head coaching staff, and the decisions start getting made on the players that are there, those who are paid that don't perform are the first to leave out the door. Those that are paid that do not perform are the first ones that are shown the door, whether they like it or not. So whether these guys like it or not, they're all in bed together. These guys are all in bed together. And you better figure out a way to start winning games, or it's going to be a short, I can promise you, in January of 2025, that a lot of people will be spending their last days with the Chicago Bears. That's the way this business works. It works this way, Peggy. If you don't perform, you're out the door.
The issues we saw with the offensive line were magnified by the fact that Nate Davis was active and did not play. The only player not to play, along with Tyson Bagent. And Nate Davis did not play. Khalil Herbert was not active. You have to wonder if he is also on the trade market. And when we come back, we'll talk about Who else should they maybe be selling at this point and not buying at the trade deadline on Tuesday? You've said this for a couple of weeks now. It's a big name player who they are not going to be giving another contract to, who is going to be looking for a big money deal next year. Should they be getting rid of Keenan Allen before it's too late, before they get nothing in return? We'll open up the phone lines when we come back.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is all the truck you need with its electrifying twin-turbo V6. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats smooth the shocks when things get bumpy. And the Toyota 4Runner tames the trails when nature plays tough. And that signature power rear window? Oh, yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Toyota. Let's go places.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway. Exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
The village of Bolingbrook is breaking out and elevating its game. Bolingbrook remains the most desirable Southwest suburban location to start or expand your business. Why? Over 50 corporate headquarters call Bolingbrook home, and it's a prime commuter destination right off I-55 and I-355. So come be Bolingbrook. Elevate your future and the future of your business. Visit bebolingbrook.com. It's a great time to be Bolingbrook.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
UI Health believes everyone deserves exceptional care. Their care teams are leaders in managing and treating complex diseases and conditions, utilizing the latest innovations and minimally invasive surgery. UI Health prioritizes personalized care from diagnosis through precision treatment. UI Health develops the care plan that's right for you. UI Health, exceptional care for you. Learn more at uihealth.care.
LoadSmart offers you a fresh canvas, empowering you to take control of your supply chain. Instantly price, book, and ship with guaranteed capacity tailored to your unique needs. LoadSmart's automated solutions eliminate the chaos of manual processes, giving you the freedom to design a more efficient, cost-effective operation. Whether it's FTL, LTL, PTL, expedited, or drayage, LoadSmart helps you shape your logistics your way. Join the likes of Amazon Freight, Cabot Creamery, and Scott's Miracle Grow to move more with less at LoadSmart.com/ESPN.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Advantage Chevrolet Bolingbrook is your connection to your new Chevy. Drive home in less than 60 minutes or they'll make your first car payment. See them in Bolingbrook or visit AdvantageChevrolet.com.
Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
It's a stay alive moment for the Bears right now as they look at a Cardinals team that lined up at the line of scrimmage, looking to do some damage. 4th down and 4. Snap to Caleb Williams. They're bringing pressure. They throw right. It is caught. Keenan Allen making the catch on 4th down and 4. Makes the conversion and is landed out of bounds inside the 45 to the 44-yard line of Arizona.
Coach Eberflus tomorrow at 9:40 with Cap and J Hood.
Tuesday is the trade deadline. Will the Bears be buyers or sellers? It sounds like Ryan Poles has already turned down any offers he may have had for Khalil Herbert. We know he turned down an offer for Velus Jones Jr. in the preseason because he didn't get enough for him, a guy that they ended up waiving and has since been picked up by another team. You brought up a very interesting, while Khalil Herbert has been inactive the last couple of games, and we know that there has been some interest in him. I mean, he led the team with the most yards per carry or average yards per rush last 2 years, and he's been inactive. Keenan Allen comes here knowing that he's going to be a free agent. The Bears did not negotiate a new deal when they brought him over here. So before he leaves without you getting anything in return, should the Bears, Yurko, be dealing Keenan Allen?
Well, there's three guys that I look at besides the running back that you talked about. Keenan Allen, I talked about a couple of weeks ago that if this thing isn't going well and the receivers aren't really making the impact that they look like you're going to make, you've got two guys that you're moving forward with, DJ Moore and Odunze. You make them the primary focus. You find a way to develop a third that's not Keenan Allen to get him in there, get more active, get him in there running the offense. And then Cole Kmet and DeAndre Swift. That's your offense. Simplify it. Don't give him three choices at wide receiver. Give him one or the other. Tight end over the middle, flare out to your back. Odunze's good enough to be a primary target out there. So if you're looking to do the Keenan Allen, but who wants him? Who's looking for him? So I thought about that a couple of weeks, and then somebody made a trade and picked somebody up, and all of a sudden you might be stuck with Keenan Allen for the rest of the year. And that, in essence, is what you are. You're stuck because your wide receivers aren't catching the ball at the rate they need to be catching it anyway. Tremaine Edmonds is my other player. Has not lived up to the contract they signed. It's one of the first guys they brought in here because that's who Eberflus wanted, to play his style of linebacker and his style of system. Tremaine Edmonds has been somewhat just a little bit better than average. But you're not paying him a little bit better than average money. You're paying him a ton of money. Is he sexy to somebody else that's going to get him? He's got $29 million left over the next 2 years. So that averages out to, what, $14.5 a year? That's not impossible if you're getting a linebacker to come in. 14.5 is not impossible. Your top linebackers are making $23, $24 million a year. So he's well underneath that. And the other guy, if you can move him, if somebody has such a rash of injuries at the offensive line, the 64 that couldn't play in the city of Chicago, the only 64 in the world I've never known that can't play, Nate Davis needs to be moved if you can, but there's 2 days to move him. You don't move him, you cut him. I don't care if you don't have 5 healthy bodies on the offensive line. He is the epitome of failure. The epitome of failure. The other two guys haven't failed. Keenan Allen didn't fail. Edmonds didn't fail. Tremaine Edmonds hadn't failed. He just hasn't been up to snuff for what they're paying him. He's not up to snuff. That's just the way it is. Nate Davis is an absolute failure. So if you can get rid of the absolute failure by trading him for something, anything, if not, cut him and get rid of him. He's done. No longer to be a burden upon your soul or anybody in the city of Chicago's soul. So I got Keenan Allen, Tremaine Edwards, and
Edmonds.
Edmonds. Did I call him Edwards?
Yep.
I love Edwards.
Yeah, don't confuse him with TJ Edwards.
I want to keep Edwards, and Edmonds can go.
The Bears
That's my plan.
Still looking for their first road win. Matt Eberflus is now 3-18 on the road, 1-5 in late afternoon games, and don't even ask about Sundays, which is when the NFL plays. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that, like, if you took the job, that you would have to come to work on Sundays?
I think 3 of those away victories are on Thanksgiving. Not Thanksgiving, but on Thursdays.
Thursday night games.
Yeah, Thursday night games, right? So if they play on Sunday away, you could just chalk it up as a loss.
We got to take a break, but when we come back, we need to talk about something bigger, and that is Matt Eberflus with the locker room this week. They were obviously in disarray. It was his job as the head coach to rally the troops and to make sure that they all came to work ready to play. And they were anything but today. Not only were they not put in a position to win, but the players were not making enough plays to win as well. We'll talk about that when we come back, but first we need to pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. This is WMVP, WTBCHD2 Chicago, and you are listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
This is the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago, WMVP, WTBC HD2, Chicago.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through December 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Right now at Old National, we have a $450 checking bonus.
Sign me up. But why is that hockey player standing there?
I'm here for the checking.
Well, for a bonus that big, bring on the checking.
Sir, no need to brace yourself against the wall.
It's bank checking.
I knew that.
Earn up to a $450 bonus when you open a checking account and complete qualifying activities within 90 days of account opening. Another reason to get old. Old National, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2024. Visit oldnational.com/checking.
At 19 weeks pregnant, I found out my blood was attacking my baby. I'm Ellen, and my team said her only chance at survival was a rare procedure.
Top ranked in Illinois for obstetrics and gynecology by U.S. News and World Report, the team at Northwestern Maternal Fetal Medicine Clinic treats high-risk pregnancies from across Chicagoland. They performed an unprecedented 5 in utero blood transfusions to ensure Ellen and her baby had a compatible blood type.
Today, my baby is healthy and full of life.
Northwestern Medicine, better.
Backed by popular demand, the original Uno's Pizza you grew up with is available in the frozen aisle at your favorite Chicagoland grocer. That's right, that famous, irresistible, one-of-a-kind signature Chicago pizza is now available in 6 and 9-inch sizes for all under $10. Handcrafted the old-fashioned Chicago way with the finest ingredients and buttery pie-like crust, your taste buds will thank you. Find Uno's proudly displayed at your favorite local Chicagoland grocery store. It's called Uno's for a reason.
Need health insurance? It's open enrollment for the Get Covered Illinois Marketplace. Our Get Covered Illinois navigators will help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Essential benefits cover prescription drugs, emergency care, health screenings, and more. Visit getcoveredillinois.gov to enroll in a plan by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st.
Hey Bears fans, Steinhoffel's is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. Steinhoffel's newest 100,000 square foot furniture and mattress superstore is opening soon in Orland Park at Orland Park Place. With stores in Vernon Hills, Crystal Lake, Downers Grove, Hartwood Heights, Schaumburg, and opening soon in Orland Park. Steinhoffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader with the largest selection to fit every style and budget and is 100% employee owned. Shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com.
Get the Gerald exclusive lifetime warranty of the all-new Gerald Honda Countryside, Honda's 2023 President Award winner. Unlimited miles, unlimited time at no cost to you on all new vehicles and most used vehicles. At Gerald Honda, you can expect fast, friendly, and exceptional service, plus a large selection of vehicles to choose from. See why everyone is saying, got to get to Gerald Honda of Countryside. Gerald cares.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it! Walter takes the National Football League all-time leading rusher.
ESPN Chicago.
Has there been any fallout with him and the Bears?
Oh, yeah. And Stray's talking about it under his breath because that's what's going on in that Bears locker room. So here's the deal. They're benching him today. He's being demoted. He's not starting. But on Wednesday, when he found out he wasn't starting, he actually pulled himself out of practice. That didn't exactly go over great inside that locker room. We talked about Anthony Richardson getting his teammates' trust back. Same for Tyree Stevenson.
Peggy and Yurko postgame, ESPN Chicago.
Jay Glazer's pregame report on Fox earlier today before the Bears took the field at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, saying that Tyreek Stevenson was told that he would be demoted and not starting on defense against the Cardinals. It was a decision that was made by both management and coaches. Before Wednesday. So at some point on Tuesday, they made the decision. He was then informed of it on Wednesday. They were out stretching. He left the workout, went back inside Hallis Hall to, quote unquote, collect himself, to maybe kind of put his head in a better space. And then as our Courtney Cronin was able to add, which Jay Glazer did not add, was that he did return
because he didn't know
to practice on Wednesday. Well, I would venture to say when he adds that it did not go over well in that locker room, that he talked to a player and that his source is a player inside the locker room that told him that because that's what Jay Glazer does. He's the buddy to all the players.
Remember what I told you, though, back in the day, loose lips sink ships, right? Yeah, a team that likes to talk too much.
Well, they went from talking on their own shows and talking at the podium to now talking to a national.
Too lippy.
Yeah, and letting something out like that. Courtney was able to add to it that he would then, Tyreek Stevenson would rotate in with Terrell Smith. When Terrell Smith obviously went out with injury, then Tyreek stayed in, and that the Bears were not giving up on Tyreek Stevenson. They still believed in him. They believe in him as a player. They think he's going to continue to make some great plays for him. But the question remains, there's something going on right now, a little Hail Mary hangover for sure with this locker room.
Oh, do you think?
For sure.
Yeah. So the one thing in my country you don't want to be is an East Dates. You know what an East Dates is?
No.
Informant.
Oh.
You don't want to be an informant in my country. They deal with informants very, very harshly.
Is it your country the United States?
No, my country's Croatia.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am a citizen of the United States now.
Okay.
Yeah. But back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, God forbid, immigrants come over the country. God forbid, Peggy.
All right, leave that to Tuesday's election.
It's got nothing to do with Tuesday's election. I'm an immigrant.
As we were saying.
But either way, that's what you don't want to be. They talk too much over there. Your other problem is coaches coach. Coaches discipline the players. What management doesn't need to do is butt their heads in down there. Let management do what they've been doing, not providing the players. That's what they've been doing. Not providing the quality players and building a team backwards. That's what this management does. So when they figure out how to bring in the right players in the right order for this football team, they can come down upon high and start telling the coaches what they need to do in disciplining their players. Okay? Stick with what you know. Ryan Poles knows how to pick players sometimes. Okay? He doesn't coach. Let the coaches coach and let the management manage and find the players. Don't stick your nose in where it doesn't belong. It doesn't belong with the coaches. Separation of powers. That's what we like to have. We don't want to have cross-pollination. That becomes a problem, and that's what we have. Well, and yes, I am a proud immigrant boy.
When you fail, then you are failing together, and you're not separating yourselves from who is responsible for the failure.
When you win together. When you lose together. But you don't stick your nose in what's not your business.
Let's go to Mount Prospect. Jeff has been hanging on the phone lines. Hello, Jeff. Welcome into the postgame show.
Hey, Peggy Yurko. How are you?
Great.
We've been better.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Peggy, really quick. Graduated high school with your brother Kevin.
Wonderful.
How's he doing?
He's great. Thank you very much. He was at the game today in Arizona.
He had a hernia last week, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you with back in the day with Kevin Matthews, man. Those were some great shows.
Thank you, Jeff. What's your point on the postgame show here?
Coaching. coaching. End of the game, down by 20, 5-yard passes. What is that? And I had my kids this weekend, and so I only have one eye on the TV. But the penalties is coaching. The loss last week is coaching. The 3 losses last year with Cleveland and Denver and Detroit, coaching. Well, what more proof do we need that we need to move on from this pile? Eberflus.
Peggy?
What more?
This is your buddy. You got any answers?
Well, I don't have any answers because here's the problem. You're not beating anyone that matters. And if you want to show progress with this team in year 3, you got to start beating the 500 teams and the teams that are above 500. They're not doing that. So they remain to be a 500 team.
This is where the coaches and the players are in unison. You want to blame the coaches, blame the players. If you want to blame the players, blame the coaches. They're the ones for the product on the field that you need to blame. And then ultimately, at the end of it, when it's all said and done, you look at the individual talent, that's when management's got to come in, and they've got to figure out who the right players are or who are not for your football team. At the end of my realm in Green Bay, Ron Wolf decided I was not good enough to play on that team that they were hoping to get to the Super Bowl. But in Jacksonville, they loved me down there my first year and voted me the Defensive Player of the Year for their squad because I was exactly what they needed. So what does this team need? That's what management is going to have to figure out is find it's the quality of player, the kind of quality of player they want. When it comes to the penalties and the coaching and the players and the coaching, they're tied. Their hands are tied together. They've got to find a way to sink or swim together, and right now they're finding a way to sink together. And if the two of them don't figure it out, it's not going to make a difference for us the rest of the year, unfortunately.
It's not going to look good the rest of the year. The Bears have the toughest schedule remaining in the NFL.
Yep.
After they host the Patriots next week, it is 6 games against the NFC North and a game against San Francisco. Out to Sauganash we go. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Peggy and Yurko, thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate
I'm going
that.
to light a candle at the novena on Tuesday.
Speaking of which, I got a quick prayer to unite all of us. It'll be quick, and if you don't believe in God, just play along or something.
Thank you.
All right, dear whatever God you believe in, we pray that the Chicago Bears coaching staff and ownership realize that they maybe should not be in the business of football.
Amen.
We pray that Ryan Poles realizes his real passion is fantasy football, not managing a professional football team. That Eberflus realizes his passion is as a PE teacher and football coach for, say, like a grade school in Ohio. Maybe Illinois is not the best fit for Eberflus. That Waldron realizes his real passion is like one of those guys who coaches people how to swim with dolphins or something like that. Actually, he'd probably be pretty bad at that, maybe like crochet or knitting. And that the McCaskies realize their passion is something like what other wealthy Midwestern families do. Maybe manufacturing or franchising. You know, I know a few guys who made a lot of money off McDonald's franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Great business model.
Lucrative, and the food's not even good.
No, it's not. It's not. But they made a lot of money, and God bless them.
Continue with the prayer.
And for all of us Bears fans, that God may deliver us from the depths of hell. That one day we may be dancing on tables in New Orleans like back in '85. That is all we ask. Amen.
Amen.
Sorry, quick prayer. Love you both.
Thank you.
Bear down. Thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. That settled me a little bit.
That's what we've resulted to.
That settled me just a smidge.
Bears fans are calling in with prayers.
Prayers.
Novenas.
Yeah. I'm going to light a candle.
I think we should open up the State Street studios and put like in cracks in the wall where you can write your prayer down and then fold it up and you stick it in the concrete of the wall.
There you go. I think the ABC 7 building engineers would approve of that.
Right?
Just right in the mortar. Not worry about nothing. It won't bring the building down.
It's the new Wailing Wall. It's the new Wailing Wall of Bears fans. Mm-hmm. Where they come to cry.
Maybe
190 North State.
Maybe I could throw some soda or coffee up there, and maybe we'll see the picture of something holy. And then we could have all the Bears fans come out and pray to it right outside the studio.
Like the Shroud of Turin.
That's right. There you go. Or Our Lady of Fatima.
Well, Look at you.
Oh, yeah. I spent a little time at Catholic school.
Our Lady of Fatima, we would need some children for her to appear to.
Well, that's true.
Right?
That's not a surprise.
All right. We have gone way
We're looking
off
for
the rails.
miracles right now.
That's right.
That's what the Bears do to you.
That's what the holiday season does. We're looking for miracles.
That's what the Bears have done to us. We've gone to prayer, for heaven's sake.
Oh, my goodness. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network.
Happy football season. Guys, it's Carmen. I'm amped for everything coming up. Kids events, games to attend, and all the stuff that comes along with it. My Land Rover Defender 130 is a dream to drive and a dream come true for any parent getting the kids around town. That third row is key. It's the go-to for pickups and drop-offs all fall. I love it. It's all thanks to the team at Orloff, right off the Kennedy at Armitage. They have a huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Jaguars and Land Rovers, so stop into Orloff and tell them Carmen sent you.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
Bosch tools are built for workers. Bosch's powerful hammer drill has kickback control to help work go more smoothly when you need it. The 2-in-1 impact driver and wrench quickly changes between bits and sockets, so you only need one tool instead of two. And the X-Lock grinder switches wheels up to 5 times faster than standard grinders. Bosch tools take care of the job and you. Bosch tools, what hard workers deserve. Learn more at BoschTools.com.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Do you have a plumbing emergency? Call Four Seasons. An electrical emergency? Call Four Seasons. A heating or cooling emergency? Call Four Seasons. Same-day hot water tank installation needed? Call Four Seasons. Need a whole home generator? Call Four Seasons. We guarantee same-day installation on all heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. And no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Illinois State University, like Chicago's favorite football team, welcomed a historic recruiting class this fall, the largest since 1986. Like our gridiron heroes, we're excited to watch these newest additions work hard, find success, and create a legacy of their own. And while a few of our students have suited up on Sundays, our small class sizes, expert faculty, and personalized learning environment will prepare every student for Hall of Fame careers. So be part of a winner and take the first step toward creating your legacy. Apply for admission today at illinoisstate.edu/apply.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Chicagoland, your number one team for luxury is Bill Jacobs Auto Group. We're leading the league with top new car volume for BMW, Land Rover, Mini, and Volkswagen. Discover an experience that matches our winning lineup. Drive home in style and comfort today. At Bill Jacobs, the cars bring you in, the experience brings you back. Year-to-date new car volume for BMW, Land Rover, Mini, and Volkswagen.
Ings Insurance. Insurance that's moving business forward. Ings Insurance. That's Ings with an E. ENGS Insurance.com.
Bears extend their defensive front wide as they send it back to Kyler Murray. Pockets nice and clean. Throws to an open man. It's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ball.
Gave up the ball. Scooped up by the Bears. 45-yard line, running left to the Bear 45-yard line. Elijah Hicks on the scoop. And the Bears have taken the ball away. 4th and 1, under center. They take the turn. Fumble the ball. Covered up. Who's got it? Nobody indicating anything, including players. They'll have to unpack the scrum inside the 30, and the Bears up with the football. Byard comes up with it. Has himself a sack today, and now a fumble recovery.
Carmen and Yurko, weekdays noon to 3, ESPN Chicago.
Well, the Bears win the turnover differential with 2 takeaways by the defense, and the Bears defense taking it away. Reddy Stewart and then Kevin Byard. They are our Bears advantage of the game, which is brought to you by Advantage Chevy Dealerships, home of the 60-minute guarantee. They will have you driving off in your next Chevy in 60 minutes or less, or they'll make your first car payment. Remember that the Bears defense and the takeaways is our Bears advantage of the game. When we ask you to call in later on, you could be one of our lucky entrants into our grand prize winner, which will be announced after the Green Bay game in Week 18. The grand prize is a 2-year prepay lease on a 2025 Chevy Equinox EV, $11,000 value. You need to be 18 years or older, from Illinois only. Official contest rules at ESPNChicagoContests.com.
Not a ton of positivity there, Peg. I don't know if you've noticed that game today.
Yeah, that was a little hard. I wanted to bring something up while we were talking about Matt Eberflus. I heard people say, you can't really include the record from 2022 because that was...
They intentionally were trying to lose.
The tank.
Yeah.
Okay, that was their tank season.
Traded off Akeem Hicks. You traded off Roquan Smith. You were getting draft choices. You were going to build... So the last 10 games, all at noon, by the way, Peggy, all which you and I did, both games.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. So his 3-18 road record, they want us to take away that 2022 season. So, all right, we will do that. He still went 2-6 last year on the road, and they're 0-4 right now. So he's 2-10.
Still not good enough.
No, it's not good enough.
And remember,
and this is supposed to be the year 3. This is supposed to be the year. That's why they picked up the Keenan Allens of the world and the DeAndre Swifts.
That's why you drafted a punter in the 4th round. Because
they could.
There's not a lot of competition on this team. We are set at every position. Do you remember that in training camp?
Yes.
Do you remember seeing that on the Hard Knocks?
It's going to be hard to make the team.
The Hard Knocks, impossible. The great Velus Jones Jr., and, boy, are we going to keep him? Aren't we? He's such a talented player. Could get a 4th-round pick for him. Remember how they ended that one? No 4th-round pick. Thanks. We appreciate it. I know he doesn't appreciate 4th-round picks anyway, Ryan Bowles. He doesn't like those. So, hey, the losses are lost. This year we came in and said the difference between this team and last year's team is you've got to be able to win at home, whether it's going to be 8-0. They considered the one out there, whether you're going to be 8-1, 7-2, you've got to win at your games at home. And then you've got to be able to split on the road. You've got to be able to go 4-4 on the road to add to whatever your home record is going to be. They're 0-4. They're 0-4. And let me tell you, the games they face coming up on the road are no big bargains. They are no big bargains, and I believe 3 of those in a row are on the road. They got 3 in a row on the road, don't they, coming up against some formidable foes from the NFC North. It's coming up, and it's not going to be pretty. They go on the road right here after New England, right? Road game.
So they have home games against the Patriots and then the Packers and the Vikings. So they have 3 games at home the next 3 weeks. And then they are in Detroit, at San Francisco, and at Minnesota.
Yeah. That's a juggernaut. That's what that is in front of you. That is a juggernaut of a schedule that you've got in front of you. And correct me if I'm wrong, Swami, but if you're going to win all your home games, the next 3 are imperative for you before you go on the road. And I know San Francisco isn't as good as they were, but San Francisco, pretty damn tough team. San Francisco can still get after you. By the time the Bears play Frisco, guess who's going to be back? The Christian McCaffrey is going to be back. So he'll be back in the lineup going against the Chicago Bears.
They
Deebo
won't have
Samuel.
The luxury of a Rams team that is missing all their offensive
Puka
stars.
And Cooper, yes. And Stafford's trying to throw the ball to some guys that are trying to help him out. Okay, your schedule gets tough. And are you going to win the next 3 at home and go 7-4? And then you've got to go on the road and start winning where you can't win?
Doesn't look like it from this team.
Then what happens when you crap the bed in one of these games coming up?
You need new sheets.
Yeah, you definitely are going to need new sheets. You're going to need new uniforms, too. Unless you're wearing all the blues. Unless you're wearing navy on navy, you are going to need new everything.
Can't wear those white pants, not if you're doing that.
So you were supposed to win early to be able to buy yourself a little cushion knowing that it was going to get tough on you. You've got the toughest schedule in the NFL coming up now. Your Patsy schedule that you had, your cream puff schedule that you had, you did not take advantage of. 5-4 if you beat New England is not taking advantage of the schedule that you had. Now you've got to tighten your belt, bring the pants up, and you've got to become a man. That's what it's going to be in the second half of this season. And from what I've seen so far this year, if I had to put a shekel or two down on the direction I think the Bears are going, it's not good, Peggy. It is not good. Not a lot of joy in Mudville over here. No, sir.
Kyle is in Schaumburg. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Basically, I just wanted to say, when the Hawks had Dennis Savard, he was the nice guy. They got rid of him. They got Gwenville, and then we all know what happened after that. So my question for you guys, I know, 3 parades. So let's say the Bears fire Eberflus within the next 24 hours. Is there an interim coach that can turn the season around?
Interim coach that could turn the season around. Some guy that's not here. Are you talking about Belichick, the big brain of Belichick coming into town? Are you talking about a John Gruden coming into town?
That'd be great.
Well, I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't know
think
who.
You don't want it. You don't want the nice guy. You want the guy that's going to get the job done and has the track record of getting the job done.
Yeah, you're going to want a jerk. That's for sure.
I do
so
not.
If you guys had a short list, who would be on it?
I do not see the Bears going after any big name.
They have never
coach.
fired, right? They've never fired a coach in the middle of the season, right?
No, they have never.
They've never fired it, so that's not going to happen. So let's just do that right away. The Bears are not going to fire Eberflus after a 4-4 start. They're not going to do it.
Well, you already mentioned the cream puff beginning of the schedule, so
yeah, it was there.
I feel like we're 1-5.
Well,
or 1-7.
I get it. I understand that's what you feel like, but that's not where we're at. We're at 4-4, and it's hell's coming to breakfast, my friend. We got to brace for it.
Kyle, thank you. We appreciate it. Let's keep going on the phone lines. Tom is in Oak Lawn. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Peggy, Yerk. Yerk, I think if you might remember, I called into you and Carmen, earlier when they said they were going to keep with Eberflus, and I said, well, this just proves that they are not really serious about winning if they're not going to get rid of the head coach. And I feel like, not today's loss was on him, last week's loss was on him, and at a certain point, the losses are on Ryan Poles too, because he did not go after getting a new head coach, especially when he knew he was going to get a new quarterback with the number 1 pick, and this was a chance to, okay, let's start over and let's set everything up for this kid instead of keeping the head coach. And now, even if they do, tumble and everything like that, and they fire him at the end of the year, then we're back in Groundhog's Day. This is exactly what happened with Mitchell Trubisky. This is exactly what happened with Justin Fields. Now, I feel Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than those two.
Why?
But in the same instant, I guess hope.
Yeah.
I'm not, but
I'm with you.
Again, we'll never know because he wasn't set up for success, and he wasn't set up for success in the beginning. And if you're going to fire Matt Eberflus, then you got to fire Ryan Poles too, because he did not able to do it earlier in the year and do what needed to be done, and that was set up this kid for success.
Thank you. I got news for you. This is just remember what Ryan Poles said and what Kevin Warren said at the beginning of the year. This is a team, an organization that needs consistency, and they have gone through too many head coaches, and that there needs to be patience, allowing a head coach to set the structure of the team, which they love what Matt Eberflus has done.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's the talent on the field that is not coming through.
I think it's when I watched Hard Knocks, they said this team's ready to win. I mean, I think I saw that on one of those Tuesdays or Thursdays that it came on. This team's ready to win. Now we've got to win. We've got to win. Well, there you go. 4-2, it looked like you were ready to win. 4-4, you're just an average, everyday team. That's all you are. And now it's going to get rough. Now we're like the Andrea Gale. We've caught all our swordfish, but now we got to get back to sea, to port. Good luck. Because the seas are angry, my friend. I think it was Hard Knocks I was watching.
I'm not sure what you were watching.
No, I was watching Hard Knocks that day. This team's ready to win, Peggy. That's what I heard. Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles when they were trying to convince the world how wonderful they were and how much they love their players.
You're listening to the Great Clips postgame show. This is the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Dear football fans, Toyota's leading the drive to victory. The Corolla and all-hybrid Camry make big plays with style and efficiency. RAV4 is a versatile game changer. Highlander's got room for your whole squad. And the rugged Tacoma and Tundra control the line of scrimmage. They've all got available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, too. Visit Toyota.com or head to your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
$4 million. The Verdoliak Law Group wins again for their clients. That's right. The Verdoliak Law Group recovered $4 million for a client who was injured in a truck accident. If you're injured, make sure to call the Verdoliak Law Group. Playing professional football and being on the radio for many years, I've had the opportunity to endorse many products and companies. But this is special. The Verdoliak Law Group, owned by close friends, has been helping people for 60 years. They've even taken care of my neighbors and close friends. I truly believe in them. When you need a doctor, you look for the experience and the skill. The same goes when you're choosing a lawyer. The Verdoliak Law Group has recovered over $9 billion for clients and served more than 40,000 people. Whether it's personal injury, auto or truck accidents, wrongful death, or medical malpractice, call my friends at Verdoliak Law Group. The Verdoliak Law Group has done great for my friends and neighbors. They will do great for you, too. Call them today at 844-4VLG-LAW.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Need health insurance? It's open enrollment for the Get Covered Illinois Marketplace. Our Get Covered Illinois navigators will help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Essential benefits cover prescription drugs, emergency care, health screenings, and more. Visit getcoveredillinois.gov to enroll in a plan by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
UI Health believes everyone deserves exceptional care. Their care teams are leaders in managing and treating complex diseases and conditions, utilizing the latest innovations and minimally invasive surgery. UI Health prioritizes personalized care from diagnosis through precision treatment. UI Health develops the care plan that's right for you. UI Health, exceptional care for you. Learn more at uihealth.care.
I never knew owning a gourmet Italian pasta business could be this profitable.
Thanks to our Old National commercial banker.
That warehouse expansion loan?
Oh, and the help with our equipment leasing.
But still, gotta say, it seems like he loves the Italian pasta business more than we do.
La nuova attrezzatura ha reso il processo molto più efficiente. I mean, the new equipment, it makes it so much more efficient.
Really dedicated commercial bankers.
Sorry, got a little carried away there.
Another reason to choose Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
When you think beef, think Papa Charlie's, Chicago's favorite Italian beef specialist for 3 decades. It's Chicago's favorite. For your next tailgate, pick up Papa Charlie's Italian beef today at your favorite local Chicagoland retailer. Awaiting the snap. It's put down. Kicked by Santos from 53 yards. It is plenty good from 53 right down the middle. This will be a field goal try at 53 again for Santos. Right hash, slight angle to the left. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Snap, placement. Cairo Santos' kick is end over end. It has the direction and it has the distance from 53.
Peggy and Yurko post-game on ESPN Chicago.
Yep, it was that kind of game. Our Finding the Great is our kicker for the Chicago Bears. Cairo Santos, perfect. 3 for 3, including a pair of 53-yard field goals. Cairo Santos is our Finding the Great because in sports, success is about team effort. And the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes. So every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. Download their app today, Great Clips. It's gonna be great. Oh, something that's not so great, Caleb Williams entering today's game had completed just 31% of his throws with 15 or more air yards downfield. 29th among qualified quarterbacks. That was entering into today's game. Against the Cardinals, he was 1 of 8 for a 12.5 percentage. He finished 22 of 41 for 216 yards and was sacked 6 times. The offense is going backwards, not forward.
They're struggling. They're struggling.
Caleb Williams, for as great as he looked in the fourth quarter against Washington to put the Bears back in position to win that game, could not do anything today. He was running for his life.
Yeah, the offense looked hapless. Couldn't run, couldn't throw, couldn't protect, couldn't catch, couldn't block. A lot of problems. Give him safety. What is it, holding or a personal foul? Clip block.
The clip block, the leverage.
It was the personal foul. Personal foul penalty.
The field goal attempt.
Jenkins and DeAndre Swift. But DeAndre Swift was the one that took him low.
Yes.
Ends up in his safety. The Bears went for the onside kick. The announcer, whoever was doing the color commentary on there, applauds the other team for putting their hands in the air to fair catch what is obviously an onside kick from the punt there. When the punter, who can boom the ball 80 yards, kicks the ball straight up in the air, they call for the fair catch. You're hoping for a bobble of some sort. If you get the bobble, then you get the football back. The Bears needed the football back. But for one reason or another, he wanted to pretend like Taylor didn't do that on purpose. So that was a little bit. So not only did all the Bears stink, but the announcers were horrific. They're horrific. God awful is what I meant to say. Thank you.
Charles Davis was the analyst today on the CBS.
Horrific.
Crew.
Terrible job. Terrible.
Let's go out to Whiting, Indiana. Ryan is up next. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Peggy, I just wanted to I just want to tell you about your last statement about Eberflus maybe staying around. Before I get to my question, I barely want to watch this team on TV. What makes you think I'm going to go out to the new stadium, wherever it's going to be, and pay the astronomical tickets to watch what I just watched on TV today? You know, it's $500, probably just for me if you include the dogs, the beer, and all that. Now, if you take a family to watch that product, I don't think so. They can keep their new stadium. I don't think we should be putting that on the taxpayers. But to my original question, didn't we fire Harry Heatstan for this new? I shouldn't say new, but the offensive line coach that was a holdover from the Matt Nagy era,
Chris Morgan.
Yes,
he got promoted. Actually, he got a promotion in the offseason.
Gotcha. So, what has he done to get promoted? And then, 2, wouldn't the Bears benefit from putting someone with suddenness in the slot, like our kick returner? You know, who has a lot of speed and is really shifty to put the defense on their heels, so that our wideouts can have some time to let a play develop.
What do you think about the shiftiness of DeAndre Carter in the slot?
as far as what he can do coming out of the slot receiver position.
That he's a better option for.
I wouldn't mind if Keenan Allen got traded away on Tuesday and they offered whatever player is available to play the third wide receiver to be somebody else. Yes, that's fine. Any of the wide receivers that are left after you move Keenan Allen to another football team and hopefully get a draft choice back, because you need a lot of draft choices to still build this team, believe it or not. So I'm in favor of another wide receiver playing in the slot position. Adunze being one, the DJ Moore being the other starting wide receiver, and any slot receiver besides Keenan Allen coming in.
Your options are DeAndre Carter and Tyler Scott.
Well, does Scott even dress?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Special teams.
You wouldn't know.
Kansas City, we go listening on the ESPN Chicago app. Hello, Stephen.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hi guys,
good.
how you doing?
Good.
It's kind of funny that Eberflus was actually uttering the word accountability for a change, like a man who knows that his job is on the line, and it's listening to him talk to Captain J Hood, doubling down all of that, and skirting responsibilities for many times, which I've called into your show and complained about it even from last year. I think, the levee finally broke. The players speaking out after hearing so much nonsense from him. And, I don't find him to be that sympathetic because, this is who he is, as a person, as a coach, and more importantly, as a person. And I think we all know people like that in real life, dealing with colleagues or bosses who doesn't take any sort of responsibility at all. So I think a lot of people are out on Eberflus because they see that in real life. But the attitude displayed by the players, they definitely made a player's decision in some cases. Poor tackling, blocking, just everything was just horrible. I just can't see why Ryan Poles does not deserve sort of the blame on, keeping Eberflus for another year. And I am starting to feel less optimistic about Ryan Poles as a general manager. I understand he did a great job drafting and trading, but keeping Eberflus could probably be the ultimate downfall for both men moving forward. And I just don't feel comfortable nor optimistic about the rest of the season with both guys in charge. Thank you, guys.
Fair enough, Stephen. Thank you. We appreciate it. That's very fair to say that.
A lot of doubt out there.
Absolutely. And Ryan Poles is going to have some very difficult decisions to make very soon. Let's go out to Ohio, also listening on the ESPN Chicago app. Dylan's up next. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Just a few quick things here. You have a $50 million tight end. He doesn't get a single target. He doesn't get a single target the entire game. He hardly got targeted last week. You're decimated in your defensive secondary. Obviously, Tyreek Stevenson made bad decisions last week. Haven't we all made a couple? You put him on the bench. When does Eberflus take accountability for anything that he has done? The first year I thought, this is a terrible team. This is a terrible team. He found a way to win 3 games, and we were in a lot of them. We were in a lot of those games. Second year, we all blamed it on Justin Fields. Here we are now. You have a good defensive line. The offensive line, they're hurt up front. I get that. DeAndre Swift can't break a tackle. Your rookie quarterback's getting destroyed at the end of the game. There's 20 seconds left, and you can't put Tyson Bagent in. You leave Caleb Williams out there to get hit over and over and over and over again. The entire game. They did nothing. The play calling wasn't great. The defensive play calling, terrible. When at any point in time does Matt Eberflus take accountability? Tyreek Stevenson got benched this week to start the game. He obviously played after that. Tyrell Smith got hurt. I get that. He comes in. When does Eberflus get benched? This is terrible. I have been a Bears fan since 2006 when I was 10 years old. We made it to the Super Bowl, and it's been absolute hell since then. When do we get change? When does this stop?
When does he pay the price?
I have a 2-year-old son at home, and I'm supposed to have him be a Bears fan? I hope his best friend at school is a Packers fan and teaches him the right way, because this is absolute garbage.
When does he pay the price? When he gets fired. That's ultimately when he'll be held accountable, when he gets fired. And that's the way it works in the coaching business.
Dylan, thank you for the phone call. We appreciate it. It's not going to get any easier for Matt Eberflus. He's going to have to, in Ryan Pohl's words, figure out how to right the ship again like he did last year. Listen, I don't know how many opportunities you get to right the ship. I mean, at that point, you don't want the ship going off course as often as it seems to be going off course. You know what's not off course, though?
What?
Smashburger.
Oh, delicious.
Right?
Turkey burgers today.
Oh, did they know that you were on a diet?
They must have.
Wow.
They must know how much I love turkey burgers.
It's November. It's in honor of Thanksgiving coming up. Smashburger, effort equals flavor, whether it's their burgers or shakes, rewards or guest service. You can bet your bottom bun that they have thought about how they can smash it. Smashburger, every bite a better burger. We thank Smashburger for providing us with dinner tonight. And unfortunately, it just didn't settle very well in our stomach.
No, unfortunately, no.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we have to find out your verdict. And we also need to take phone calls for our advantage of the game. 312-332-3776. You're listening to the Bears Postgame Show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Acura is a leader in reliability and style. Drive home in your new Acura from Advantage Acura of Naperville. With more selection to choose from and more savings, they're committed to providing a smooth and easy car buying process. Advantage Acura values your time. They'll have you in your new Acura in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right, drive off in your new Acura in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageAcura.com or see them in Naperville.
Most mentioned offer upon arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hi, this is Dave Musil, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Electric. You've seen those free furnace ads, or those free with the purchase of any air conditioner. Well, we all know those are too good to be true. At Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Electric, we give an upfront, honest price. And I personally guarantee to beat any buy one, get one free offer by $1,000. Guaranteed. That's right, any free furnace offer, I'll beat it by $1,000. Guaranteed. So call today.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
LoadSmart offers you a fresh canvas, empowering you to take control of your supply chain. Instantly price, book, and ship with guaranteed capacity tailored to your unique needs. LoadSmart's automated solutions eliminate the chaos of manual processes, giving you the freedom to design a more efficient, cost-effective operation. Whether it's FTL, LTL, PTL, expedited, or drayage,
LoadSmart helps you shape your logistics your way.
Join the likes of Amazon Freight, Cabot Creamery, and Scott's Miracle Grow to move more with less at loadsmart.com/ESPN.
Bosch tools are built for workers. Bosch's powerful hammer drill has kickback control to help work go more smoothly when you need it. The 2-in-1 impact driver and wrench quickly changes between bits and sockets, so you only need one tool instead of two. And the X-Lock grinder switches wheels up to 5 times faster than standard grinders. Bosch tools take care of the job and you. Bosch Tools, what hard workers deserve. Learn more at BoschTools.com.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
The village of Bolingbrook is breaking out and elevating its game. Bolingbrook is rated as the third most diverse suburb and the only community in Illinois to make Fortune's top 50 places to live in 2023. Why? Over 50 corporate headquarters call Bolingbrook home, and it's a prime commuter destination right off I-55 and I-355. Elevate your future and the future of your business. Visit bebolingbrook.com. It's a great time to be Bolingbrook.
Westfield Ford is your hometown Ford team. For nearly 40 years, Westfield Ford has been treating customers right and saving them more. Decades of terrific service has built the loyal following that Westfield enjoys today. Customers can count on a terrific inventory of over 300 new Fords and quality pre-driven vehicles. And big-time savings without all the hassles and games every time they visit. Often imitated, never duplicated. Westfield Ford on LaGrange Road in Countryside and westfieldford.com.
Chicago's home for sports is Chicago's new home of the Bears. ESPN Chicago.
Another receiver, and Harrison to the left. Snap, they're going to hand it off to Benson up the middle. Benson away at the 40 to the 35 of the Bears. And they're not going to get him. To the 10, to the 5, and a touchdown with 4 seconds to go in the first half. 47. They'll make it a 53-yard run for 6. The worst possible outcome before the break.
Postgame wrap-up is next with Jason McKee, Pat the Designer, and Jeff Meller.
The Bears lose this one 29-9. Most of the games this year, they've been in it to the end. They've been fourth quarter games, but not today. They seem not to be in it from the very beginning. Could not find the end zone for the Bears. They are now 4-4 on the season. They will face the Patriots next week, return home to host New England, 12 noon kickoff at Soldier Field. New England lost to the Titans today. The Patriots come to Chicago with a 2-7 record. Meanwhile, in the division, the Lions beat the Packers. The Lions are now 7-1. Green Bay falls to 6-2. Tonight, the Vikings are hosting the Colts. And
that's happening right now.
Yes, the Vikings
as we
have
speak.
A 5-2 record, and the Bears drop now to 4-4. Your Honor.
Yeah.
Do you have a verdict?
I do. It's brought to us by the Verdoliak Law Group, 844-4. VLG Law Fighting Insurance Companies for over 60 years. And they just won $9 million for a client. Why not? This is my verdict. Nolo contendere.
Nolo contendere?
Yes, no contest today is what we saw.
Oh, boy.
The Bears brought up nothing, absolutely no contest. You know, in the courtroom, we do speak Latin, us lawyers. You know that,
yes,
right, Peggy?
Yes, you are a man of many languages.
And I make this to the fans of the city of Chicago, Bear fans, per curiam. Okay, for the court, the court in this situation is the fans of the city of Chicago. From now on, if you want to watch the games, you are sua sponte. Sua sponte. You're of your own free will on whether you want to watch these games or not. But know this, if you wager on the Chicago Bears, what you're going to end up is informis pauperis, in the manner of a pauper. You will be poorer the more that you watch and bet on the Chicago Bears. So be careful, my friends. That is the verdict of the day. Nolo contendere. No contest today.
Well done.
That's what I'm here for.
That might be your best verdict of the season.
My magnus opus, another Latin term,
your
meaning
magnus
I'm
opus.
fantastic. And the Bears were not. They were a major disappointment today. They crapped the bed. That's what they did.
Yeah, was not good. This is not going to get any easier this week at Hallis Hall.
We'll see how they handle it this week. We'll see if they want to fire other players under the bus.
Keep it tuned tomorrow morning on ESPN 1000, the flagship station here on the Bears Radio Network, for the Matt Eberflus interview on Cap and J Hood. And keep it here on the ESPN Chicago app all week long for the latest from the Bears at Hallis Hall. In the meantime, our thanks go out to executive producer Eric Ostrowski, Kendra Smith, and Jack McGrath. Our thanks to our broadcast crew, Jeff Joniak, Tom Thayer, and Jason McKee working the sidelines. Thank you for the interviews from head coach Matt Eberflus, Caleb Williams, and Reddy Stewart. Bears next game Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff at Soldier Field against the New England Patriots. Stay tuned to ESPN 1000 and the ESPN Chicago app. For Yurko, I'm Peggy. You have been listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network. As we say goodbye to our affiliates, we welcome the rest of you to stand by the post post-game show with Jeff Meller, Jason McKee, and Pat the Designer is next.
Property managers and GCs use FinishingChicago.com's contractors for finishes and protective coatings in the most iconic venues, interior spaces, and essential infrastructure. Our painters apply industry-leading commercial and industrial finishes inside and out, so your biggest assets always put their best square footage forward. FinishingChicago.com has your free list of painting, wall covering, glass systems, drywall finishing, and signage contractors. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Need health insurance? It's open enrollment for the Get Covered Illinois Marketplace. Our Get Covered Illinois navigators will help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Essential benefits cover prescription drugs, emergency care, health screenings, and more. Visit getcoveredillinois.gov to enroll in a plan by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is all the truck you need with its electrifying twin-turbo V6. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats smooth the shocks when things get bumpy. And the Toyota 4Runner tames the trails when nature plays tough. And that signature power rear window? Oh, yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Toyota. Let's go places.
UI Health believes everyone deserves exceptional care. Their care teams are leaders in managing and treating complex diseases and conditions, utilizing the latest innovations and minimally invasive surgery. UI Health prioritizes personalized care from diagnosis through precision treatment. UI Health develops the care plan that's right for you. UI Health, exceptional care for you. Learn more at uihealth.care.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Ask LaFonte Insurance Services in Lombard if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Happy football season. Guys, it's Carmen. I'm amped for everything coming up. Kids events, games to attend, and all the stuff that comes along with it. My Land Rover Defender 130 is a dream to drive and a dream come true for any parent getting the kids around town. That third row is key. It's the go-to for pickups and drop-offs all fall. I love it. It's all thanks to the team at Orloff, right off the Kennedy at Armitage. They have a huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Jaguars and Land Rovers, so stop into Orloff and tell them Carmen sent you.
Hi, this is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Outdoor Power Equipment. Did you know that all Ego 56-volt batteries are universal? I love that my lawnmower, string trimmer, and blower all share the same powerful 56-volt Ego Arc lithium battery. With over 90 Ego tools to choose from, you can build a powerful collection. Plus, Ego delivers the power of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. That's why Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
Hey, Bears fans, Steinhoffel's is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. Steinhoffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is now open in Schaumburg on Gulf Road, with stores in Vernon Hills, Crystal Lake, Downers Grove, Harwood Heights, Schaumburg, and coming soon to Orland Park. Steinhoffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader with the largest selection to fit every style and budget, and is 100% employee-owned. Shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com.
Chicagoland's favorite locally made chocolate chip cookie and one of America's top-selling soft-baked cookies makes Matt's #1 on everybody's shopping list.
You've been listening to Bears football on the Bears Radio Network.
Here comes the boom.
The Chicago Bears Radio Network is brought to you in part by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, by Miller Lite, and by Great Clips. This is Bears football on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Thanks for listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
A disaster in the desert. The Bears lose to the Arizona Cardinals 29-9, and a debacle that started last Sunday on a last-second Hail Mary by Jaden Daniels, sprinkled throughout the week. And while a lot of players and coaches thought this would be an opportunity to try and move past it, I think we find ourselves in a spot where reality is beginning to set in. Matt Eberflus, with each passing game, seems to be coaching for his job, whether he would want to admit it or not. I think most Bears fans can admit that. And they fall to 500 on the season in what has now become an absolute must-win next week at home when they host the New England Patriots. Welcome on into the post-game show. I'm Jeff Meller. I've got Pat the Designer hanging out with me in studio, and Jason McKee, who is on the sidelines, is going to be hopping on with us shortly as soon as he gets back to his hotel after watching maybe the most embarrassing game the Bears have put forth this season, Pat.
For sure.
Worse than do you put the Colts? Do you think the Colts, Texans?
Colts is still above.
Texans was bad Sunday. That Sunday night too.
Yeah, but Texans, you still feel like, all right, rookie quarterback. He has no idea, and very
Second game of the year.
very similar to the Texans and how he got hit in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Colts is probably your biggest embarrassment of the season.
But this one was an opportunity to bounce back and get right and try and put a devastating loss behind you. And now I do feel like this compounds itself. You know, it felt like they were attempting to do the right things. They were playing close throughout the first half, but they could yet again never punch the ball in when they got inside the red zone. And it became more problematic thereafter. And then ultimately, I think this was the backbreaker.
Another receiver and Harrison to the left. Snap. They're going to hand it off to Benson up the middle. Benson away at the 40 to the 35 of the Bears. And they're not going to get him. To the 10 to the 5 and a touchdown with 4 seconds to go in the first half. 47. Now make it a 53-yard run for 6. The worst possible outcome before the break.
That was actually Amari DiMercato, who ripped off the long 53-yard touchdown run that was the backbreaker for the Bears, in my opinion. And it's funny because we didn't say a lot. Pat and I don't say a whole lot before the show gets going. We kind of like to save our angst for the air. I wish it was a little bit more positive these days. But we kind of abide by the philosophy, save it for the air, and then we can get it all out. But one of the few things we both did comment on, or at least Pat brought it up to me, and I told him, no, don't say another word. I've already put it in the system. We're talking about Matt Eberflus's post-halftime interview with Evan Washburn on CBS after that devastating DiMercato touchdown run. Washburn teed up Eberflus to answer what went wrong.
Coach, after the way that first half ended, what was your message in the locker room to your guys?
I told them that, hey, this is what the score is, and we have each other. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to execute on offense, defense, and kicking, and we're going to go out here and compete in the second half.
How do you better limit them in the run game?
Yeah, we just got to be tighter there. You know, he popped the run in the last one. I called it a pass pressure, and that's on me. And I got to do a better job there. But I tell you this, that we just got to fit the run better on normal downs too.
I'm going to let you have the floor in 1 second, but I do want to point out clearly the Bears PR crisis team got to Matt Eberflus is on. As during the in-game interview, he is taking accountability for a bad play call on the long touchdown run by DiMercato, in which he takes accountability for calling pass pressure there, which I know Yurko was outlining a little bit in the post-game show, but just all around bad stuff, and it just feels like Matt Eberflus is in over his head. Pat,
listen. On the ride in from my studio to here, Jeff, I had to put on "Many Men" by 50 Cent. I don't know if you know the
I'm
song.
familiar.
I don't know if you're familiar. If that's in your repertoire or not. That's a song that I put on when I am preparing. A little choked up on that one. I used to put that song on when I was preparing to have to handle some business after school.
I used to put that song on when I knew I might have to knuckle up a little bit to a few people out there. You know what I'm saying? When that was the hype up song. So as I was riding in, I realized I am going to have to absolutely beat up on Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles today. What we just watched was not only unacceptable, there were multiple fireable offenses in this game. And if we're being honest, starting off with the fourth quarter, leaving your quarterback out there after he's already been sacked 6 times, what are you doing? What are you leaving him out there for? To die? Is that the lesson you want to teach him? This is how you die. This is what we're preparing you for, because that's going to continue happening the rest of this season. That's what we're preparing you for. So get used to getting hit, young man. If I'm Ryan Poles, the second Matt Eberflus finishes his press conference, I would have been standing there with his papers to send him elsewhere. I just drafted this kid. Don't get him killed. And the second that Ryan Poles turned around, Kevin Warren should have been standing behind him and saying, hey, I'm glad that you just handled that. But now I need you to understand something. If this kid finishes out this season not alive because everybody with a pair of eyes could see that you didn't have good enough protection for him heading into the draft, but it wasn't important for you. We wanted a dude that can kick it 60 yards. We wanted a dude that's going to be maybe a solid pass rusher. I got high hopes on Austin Booker, but we're going to hold on to those picks and not try to package anything and maybe a future pick to get back in the draft where a second-round center is doing great things for Russell Wilson. We're not worried about protecting the quarterback. You know what our options are? We're going to go with the center who was just cut from his team because they didn't want him there, and we're going to go with the backup right guard. That's the best option. Here we go. Bear down. I would have told him, if you don't get this fixed soon, you'll be following him right out the door.
It didn't help that Darnell Wright was already out for the game as well late in the fourth quarter there. He had left because of an injury. We'll see what his health status is later in the week. Let's bring in Jason McKee. He's live now in Arizona. He joins us. He's on the sidelines for every game along with Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer on the call, and he joins us on the post-game show. J-Mac, tough game today. What was your what'd you observe from your spot on the sidelines today?
Oh man. What did I observe?
Anything that stood out, or go wherever you want to go.
Yeah, for me, it's just a shocking performance. After last week, I felt that they were going to use it as motivation and fire to come out and, right their wrongs. But I just didn't see a lot of energy, at all, from start to finish. And, it's evident. I know you have guys out of the lineup, but if you're a young guy getting the opportunity to play, you think that you'd have some motivation, some fire. Now, I did see, one young guy out there playing with some emotion, Reggie Stewart. He went out there and made a couple plays, but I just didn't see the passion. You know what I mean? I just didn't see the fire. I didn't see, energy from a team that gave up the game last week, and you had an opportunity on a big stage to come out here and to right your wrongs and win a game. I didn't see that. So. It's shocking. It's hurtful. It's tough. I don't know where they go from here. A lot of guys are hurt. Darnell Wright left the game with knee injury. Obviously, Kiran Amagaji and Braxton Jones wasn't in. Jay Curran came in the game and at right tackle, and, we saw how that experiment went. But I really don't. Right now, with the state of the team, I question whether or not we can even beat the Patriots team at home next week. Honestly.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's tough, man. It really is.
It's a fair question, J-Mac. I'm putting the cart ahead of the horse a little bit when I say it's a must win, but it really does feel like if the Bears are going to salvage a season, I think anybody who follows the Bears closely has heard and knows that the Bears have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. Now, that's a huge product of being in the NFC North with 3 really good teams in your division against you. And we're watching the Vikings and Colts right now. The Vikings are trailing 7-0 on Sunday Night Football. But if you had your eye or you had your second monitor perusing that Packers and Lions game, I'll tell you what, like the Lions, they look like the best team in football, even when they're just doing everything right, all the little things to put themselves in a position to win. And I'll tell you what, the Packers had a good game plan to try and beat the Lions today. And so the Bears have both those teams coming twice yet. So it's going to be very difficult for them to find their way into the playoffs unless they start playing significantly better football. And, you point out the lack of fire a little bit, J-Mac. And, it's disappointing, too. It's not just the lack of fire, but the coaches, too, they're not guys who are going to be able to, it doesn't feel like, infuse the fire and passion with some rah-rah speeches on the sidelines. There's just, you don't have that. They don't seem to possess that. And then when it comes to planning and putting the team in the best position, they seem to be lacking at that as well. The defense, first possession, the defense came out, and considering Montez Sweat was inactive, right? We've talked about all the injuries in the secondary that the Bears have been dealing with. Yeah. The defense did its job on that first drive and forced the Cardinals into 3 and out. And I will say kudos to Terrell Smith. I'm disappointed he left the game with an ankle injury because, honestly, he got an opportunity with Tyreek Stevenson being benched, at least for the first couple of series, and maybe it would have been more had Smith not been dinged up. But nevertheless, Terrell Smith really stepped up and took the opportunity and really played well for the first couple of drives. I was interested in seeing more from him, but injury did not allow that. But the defense stepped up, and the offense actually, it seemed like, was putting together a decent drive. But then this is where it gets back to coaching too, right? An illegal formation penalty backs the Bears up when they're in very makeable field goal range for Cairo Santos, right? Yeah. And ultimately then the illegal formation penalty puts them on the fringes where now they're just outside of field goal range, at least for what you would consider Cairo Santos's range. And then because of that, I do think Caleb Williams held onto the ball a little longer than he needed to and ultimately takes a sack on a 3rd and 13, which pushes them back seven more yards and takes them out of field goal range. It's a little thing. It's the first drive. It wasn't critical per se, but it certainly, I think, would have allowed the Bears to kind of breathe a bit of a sigh of relief if they can just finish off that drive and take a field goal. And this is where I'll get back to the illegal formation penalties. This is on the coaching staff. Yeah. Like, how many week in and week out, how many times do we need to see this?
I mean, but it's a big thing, though, Jeff. Like, it's a big thing. Yeah. One of the keys of this game, right? One of the keys we've seen the past few weeks is an offense starting slow, extremely slow. And, you put together a 10-play drive, you're executing, you get the illegal formation penalty and then the sack. It negated you from starting fast and getting any type of momentum, moving forward in that game. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing we've seen week after week. I mean, it's like when you wake up in the morning and you know that corner of the wall is there, but you keep stubbing your toe on it every single time. I mean, that's what it feels like. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's upsetting because, you like you said, you came out defensively. You did some good things. You got to stop. You come out offensively, put together a 10-play drive, and then what do we see? Right? The same thing we've seen the past 3 weeks. Penalty, right? Sack, takes you out of field goal range. No points on a 10-play drive. Like, it's very frustrating. And I know it's frustrating for those guys, but, those are things that the good teams in this league don't do. They're not going to do anything to hurt themselves. There's no self-inflicted mistakes. And, I don't know what team out there in the NFL is good enough to overcome self-inflicted mistake after mistake after mistake. And we keep doing this each and every week. So when we talk about starting fast, we'll never start fast because of the self-inflicted mistakes that we continue making, as an offense.
Let me ask you this, J-Mac, because from my perception watching it on TV, watching this game felt like, I don't know if it felt like it was a defense that was having inept moments or that was missing. And this is the worst game the defense has had, 213 yards on the ground, like just dominantly getting crushed. Did it feel like the defense was just missing something, missing Montez Sweat, missing too many pieces in the backfield? Or did it feel like a defense that's kind of just done with their defensive coordinator, who, by the way, also happens to be their head coach? Because I saw the least amount of effort I've seen out of this team in a while on that side.
For me, it didn't. It's not like you're saying, did it seem? No. What happened was you saw a defense, right, especially, a defensive line that just got out physical. And I felt like, Arizona came out and said, we're going to run the ball right at you. We're going to run the ball between the tackles. We're the tougher team. And that's what you saw. I mean, you saw big runs by James Conner. I mean, any back that went in there, whether it's Trey Benson, whether it's anybody in there was ripping off chunk yardage. So, you know, and then I see the defense that we've seen in the past, right? When they give up explosive plays, you see guys, you know, not in the right gap, you know, making the wrong read. You know, I saw guys that couldn't get off blocks, you know, especially on the big run going in at that time. You know, obviously it was a bad call, but at the same time, sometimes coaches are going to make bad calls, but it's up to players to make that bad call a good call, right? Yeah. How do you do that with effort, with energy, and just playmaking ability? There's never going to be the perfect call, but sometimes as players you have to be able to transcend that call, that bad call, and make it a good call. So, you know, for me it was frustrating because, you know, defensively we have that type of talent. And we've seen, I'm sure there's been a lot of, you know, bad calls this year or calls that, you know, Coach wish he could have had back. But because of the defensive talent we have on this team, guys have been able to make a play and turn that bad call or that missed call into a positive call because of their playmaking ability. And I just didn't see that today. Yeah, and it's very upsetting because I know we have that type of caliber players on that defense.
It's a good point, too. Bad call or not, listen, the ball's at the 53-yard line, or you know what I mean, you 47, you're the minus 47 for the Cardinals. You cannot, with 9 seconds to go, allow when your offense, again, we know it's a slog. We know the offense is lacking creativity, so they need some help to get things going. And in that moment, when they had pulled back to a very favorable 14-9 point, right, to allow that big back-breaking run to DeMercado, bad play call or not, that's also on the defense and the players. They have to wear it every bit as much as Matt Eberflus, but clearly plenty of blame to go around for this one. I'll give one more stat, too, before we take a quick timeout and take your calls at 312-332-3776. It is absolutely alarming to me. Pat already brought it up, 213 rushing yards allowed, and ponder this, Kyler Murray only had 6. That, my friends, is absolutely devastating. The Bears got pushed around in the trenches. Taking your calls next right here on the Postgame show on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago.
Can't miss radio. Hear directly from the head coach of the Bears, Matt Eberflus, as he breaks down the Bears game with Cap and J Hood at 9:40 a.m. Monday, exclusively on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago and the ESPN Chicago app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Jeff Joniak here to tell you about Ego Power Plus. Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Take it from me. I love the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled lawnmower. It cuts my lawn in a single charge. Ego delivers the power and performance of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Ego's patented 56-volt arc lithium battery technology is the heart and soul of the system and what powers game-changing torque needed for demanding jobs. Learn more at egopowerplus.com. Ego Power beyond belief.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble. Now through December 22nd,
Get Thrillifyingly fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com to switch today. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires Prevost bill and auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $56 a month for internet service and $15 for Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Rosemont, the destination where everything you need is right at your fingertips. It's all here. Shopping, it's here. Dining, it's here. Entertainment, here. Rosemont's vibrance shines bright with convenience, excitement, and attractions for one and all. When it comes to finding everything you're looking for, it's all here.
It's all here.
Yep, it's all here in Rosemont.
In Rosemont.
In Rosemont. Plan your fun at rosemont.com.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
Moving Day, a walk for Parkinson's, is happening around the country. Together we can unite in the fight against Parkinson's disease in a safe but exciting and fun way. So let's get moving. Join the Parkinson's Foundation to learn more and register at movingdaywalk.org.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
2x2 in the back, takes the snap. Caleb with plenty of time, scanning, rolls back into trouble, and down he goes. Walked right into that one, and awaiting for him there was Xavier Thomas, the linebacker. To the near side, Allen, Adunze, and Everett. To the right side, Moore, singled up, cushion across the board. Snap, play fake, pressure coming. Williams stepping up and riven down. Some hungry Cardinals feasting on Caleb Williams. A 1-yard sack on 3rd down and long. Moore and Allen top of the field to the far side. Slot near side is Komet. Outside of him in the numbers area is Adunze. Corners up tight. Safeties are back. Buda Baker inching toward the line of scrimmage on the snap. He's coming on the blitz. Free rein. Turning away Williams, but he just nicked enough of him. Saw it a mile away up here. Buda Baker free to do what he wants and roaming all over the field with a sack.
A 3-pack of sacks on Caleb Williams of 6 total that the Cardinals were able to get on him today. Braxton Jones, of course, not in the lineup due to injury, which meant that Larry Borum returned to the starting lineup, and Darnell Wright left the game, and he did not return. So what was already a suspect line now is dealing with backups. And, oh, by the way, Nate Davis was active but did not play. If you needed any more indication that his signing has been an absolute disaster. Welcome back to the post-game show. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat the Designer in studio. We've got Jason McKee, who was on the sidelines in his hotel in Arizona, joining us as well as he does each and every week on the post-game show here on your home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN 1000. I don't know how do you fix this offensive line, J-Mac? What is, just from your perspective as somebody who played in the league for quite a while and somebody who coaches high school football, what is the Bears' best plan of attack to try and help Caleb Williams out? Because Pat was just pointing it out to me in the break. He's a rookie quarterback, and it doesn't matter if he's a rookie. Nobody's going to succeed when their eye level is continually being compromised because they have to worry about not just the rush up the gut from Buda Baker on that one we just heard, but also from everywhere around him. It's crazy.
He pointed to it.
I know.
He said he's about to hit.
That was maddening. What do the Bears do, J-Mac? What is a possible solution at this point?
You mean right now or in the future?
I guess right now the only solution is icy hot, some ice, a hot tub for Caleb, get him rested.
Is Joe
just looking at it like this, like next week. I mean, I don't know what the status of Karan is, Braxton, now Darnell Wright. Just imagine you don't have any of those guys next week. So now you've got Curran, you've got Borum, you've got Tevin Jenkins. It's Pryor. You're reeling right now. You really are, and it's something that it's been a question mark for a long time here. Talked about it before the season, right? You try to put a Band-Aid over a position that just keeps bleeding. It's not going to work. You got to stitch it up. You got to address it, right? You brought in blue chip players, right, on defense. You brought in a blue chip player in Montez Sweat, right? You brought in 2 linebackers. You paid a blue chip player in Jalen Johnson. Well, at some point, you got to try to either get a blue chip player on the offensive line, or you got to draft the guy who you envision that can be a blue chip player, or you got to keep drafting that position until you get it right, and it's something that, we've gotten wrong time and time again here, and it's just tough. You try to put a Band-Aid over things, you try to bring in the guys with experience, from other teams, and it just hasn't worked out.
And that's my problem with where we're at right now. Listen, not to go back, but we came into this season
knowing
your offensive line wasn't good enough, knowing Braxton Jones was not good enough. Stop sending PFF numbers. I don't care about his PFF numbers. I can visibly see him in a pair of Heelys sliding backwards into my quarterback. I don't care about his PFF numbers.
If the Bears are grading well in PFF needs to reevaluate their grading system. It's a great point, Pat.
But my problem is that you saw this. We all saw it, and yet you came into the season and said, we're changing the quarterback, we'll add more wide receivers, and that's the fix. We've seen the difference in this team from one season to another when you protect a quarterback and when you don't. We've seen how far this team can go when you protect a quarterback. Last time we were actually able to protect somebody, Mitch Trubisky, we made the playoffs. Crazy to say that. That's the last time we had an offensive line that was worth anything out there. You brought in a new quarterback, and in 9 weeks of football, you didn't play one of them. He's been sacked 29 times. Realistically speaking, he's been sacked 31 times, but 2 of them got called back on Jared Verse. So you go back and look at that Rams game and go, oh, it wasn't that bad. No, it was. It was that bad. His body felt those extra 2 sacks.
It's a disaster right now. You can chime in with us, 312-332-3776. Looks like full phone lines, but we've got 3 Davids on the line, or at least 2 Daves and a David. Let's kick things off with David in LaGrange Park. David, what's up, man? You're on the Post.
Yes, hi. Thanks very much, guys, for taking my call. Love your show and your commentary. And this might be, any of you can answer that, maybe all 3 of you should. But I want to ask 2 questions. Number one, if you were... for example, Jason, if you were a player for the Bears right now, would you believe it's inevitable that your head coach is going to be fired at the end of the year? And if yes, how would that affect your desire to play for him? That's number one. Number 2, if you were Caleb Williams right now, he'll never say this on the radio, but you guys can. If you were Caleb Williams right now and his family, how would you feel about the way you've been coached up to this point and your future desire to play for the Bears? I'll leave it.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, well, to answer your question, the first part of your question in terms of if I was a player, knowing that there's a possibility that my head coach may not be there. I've been in a situation like that when I came to Chicago. Dick Jerome was the head coach, and we know there was a possibility that he may not be there. But at the same time, as a player, right, I'm playing for my job. I'm playing for my family. I'm playing to hopefully remain in the Bears uniform the following year, or if not, I want to be in an NFL uniform. You know what I'm saying? So I've got to go out there and play my tail off, one for my teammates, but also for myself personally and my family to make sure that I have a job. So, regardless of what the coach's situation is, I still got to go out there as an individual and perform at a high level. And the better I play as an individual, hopefully, the better it helps the team.
Yeah.
And, for the second part of your question in terms of Caleb, Caleb has been fantastic. Like, I have seen no signs of him despite the struggles offensively the past 2 weeks. I always walk over by the bench, and I always want to check what his mood is, his demeanor. His demeanor has been positive the whole time. He hasn't been complaining. I haven't seen him slam his helmet. I haven't seen him break, any of the surface tablets going through the film. He's always over there with quarterback coach Kerry Joseph going over the scheme. He's always encouraging his teammates. And, yes, he can be frustrated at all get out being placed in the situation he's in, right? He can be frustrated that, he has no protection up front. But he's been, the consummate pro. I even talked to him after the game, and I said, how's your body? He's obviously said he's banged up, but he doesn't place the blame on anybody. And even in this press conference today, when I think somebody asked him, hey, should you have been in the game? And he said, hey, you know what? If the coach has me in there, I got to fight to the end. Like, that's what you want. That's what he's supposed to say. But I'm sure he's frustrated. I mean, it's human nature. I'm sure he goes home and he's pissed off because, he's getting hit and thrown around and, some receivers ain't open and he may not like the scheme, but at the same time, he has that fear on his chest. He's a captain for a reason. He's supposed to be a franchise quarterback, and, he has to find a way to continue to encourage his teammates because this offense is only going to go as he goes. And I know it's tough that he doesn't have, right now he doesn't have the protection and things aren't going his way, but from a franchise quarterback standpoint, his demeanor, his mindset, and the way he approaches things is exactly what you want, from a franchise quarterback.
I give him credit. I mean, listen, you're standing behind basically me, Jeff, and J-Mac at this point, trying to sit there and go out there and play quarterback. And what do you see him doing on the sidelines? He's going by those guys. He's trying to hype them up. He's trying to tell them, yo, stay locked in. Like, you can see him on the TV broadcast. He's not sitting alone. He's not sitting just with the quarterbacks, with Tyson Bagent and those guys. He's over there by the offensive lineman, sitting with them, trying to, like, yo, we're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Let's get after it. Yeah, I mean, like, he's doing everything he can to try and get the most out of this situation. And I'm going to be real with you, Jeff. I didn't leave today looking at the scheme and going, wow, Shane Waldron has no idea how to call an offense. I literally was just like, there's no time for any play to develop. When he pointed to Budda Baker,
that one was ridiculous.
When he dropped back and pointed to Budda Baker and said, this one's probably not going to go the way we want it to go, boys. This is going to be bad. Let me see if I can make a little magic. Let me razzle dazzle. No, we're going down. Like, that's when you know that you're in the worst possible situation that you can be in. And there's so much that people are going to place the blame at, right? Listen, the defense was horrible today. It wasn't able to pick up a struggling offense, and it hasn't been able to over the last, for the most of the game last week, it was able to. But then, we know how the result ends. But you're sitting here time and time again, and we're going to probably move on from the coach. I think this is the loss that puts the nail in the Eberflus coffin. I do. I don't think you can bring him back 0-18
on the road
on Sundays. 0-18. I don't know if you guys know who the last quarterback was to win a game on the road on a Sunday for the Chicago Bears, but it's about 4 quarterbacks ago. It was one Nick Foles in 2021. Versus the Seahawks. That's the last time.
I was going to say, was it Lennon? I was going to say Glenn.
Little too far.
You went a little too far back, J-Mac. You went a little too far back, J-Mac.
But not that bad, but almost that bad.
It's right there.
I'm just throwing out names of quarterbacks. I play with about 20 of them. I'm throwing out names.
But when you have that conversation, Jeff, and guess what we couldn't do with Nick Foles? Guess what we couldn't do with Justin? Guess what we couldn't do with Mitch? We couldn't protect him. And then we go fire the coach, fire the OC. How's the OC supposed to make anything work?
Bad plan.
I tell you what, guys. I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, J-Mac. Go.
I tell you what, guys. My thoughts now is when I left that locker room and I sat in there and I just observed after I talked to Caleb and talked to a couple of the other guys and just to kind of get the pulse and the mood and the temperature of that locker room. And obviously, everybody's upset, dejected, but a lot of frustration out of that locker room. A lot of blank stares. To me, it looked like a lot of guys, sitting there searching for answers. And I felt for them guys. And this is the thing. There's still a ton of football left to be played. And for me, I think it's really a gut check. And like I said before, despite what the coordinators are calling, right, as a player, sometimes you got to say, hey, we've got to go out there and make this work. And like the caller said, like, despite what the situation may be with your coach, you got to go out there and play for your job. And there's a lot of guys that's going to be playing for jobs if they don't make the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, guys are literally fighting for their jobs. They're fighting to have the right to play in the NFL. They're fighting for a right to wear that NFL badge on a jersey, not let alone a Bears jersey, because everybody's under evaluation all the time. And, when I sat in that locker room and I looked at the faces and the guys leaving the locker room, a lot of frustration, a lot of upset, a lot of shock. But I'm interested to see how they respond next week.
No,
I really am.
So I think David J. Mack, his assessment was right about for the majority of the players in that locker room. Most players are playing for their job on a week-to-week basis so that they can be a part of the league year after year, because for very few is it a guarantee. Now, Caleb Williams is one of the few who actually is guaranteed to be on this roster for at least the next 4 years and probably a lot longer after that if he wants to be and he can get a contract hammered out, because so he's in a different, unique situation. So you bring that up, David, is interesting. And we did see, and I agree with J-Mac completely. Caleb Williams is completely professional, completely accountable, time and time again. Whenever he has had the opportunity to go to the podium and discuss after games about losses, he always deflects and takes the blame. If anyone wants him to put it on someone else, he deflects that and takes accountability for his poor play throughout the game. And as quarterback, there's always going to be some bad plays. So I commend him for that. But I do have concerns, especially when you consider what we saw take place on Thursday, where his dad, Carl Williams, on Twitter, on X, put out the video of Joe Witt, the Commanders' defensive coordinator, who was critical of the Commanders giving up a couple of touchdowns late to the Bears, and how he couldn't appreciate the Hail Mary because he was mad about his team's about his unit's play in that game. And we saw Carl Williams tweet out that video and simply say #accountability, #real coach. And that scares me a little bit, because I do think, that he doesn't speak for Caleb, but he has a very close relationship, and he's a representative of Caleb in his negotiations. So for Carl Williams to put that out there is a little bit concerning, and more so that should be very concerning for Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, because this is not exactly what you want. We saw a lot of turmoil this week up at Hallis Hall from a lot of players who I think are very good leaders. So I want to continue to take calls and talk about that coming up next. It is the Post-Game show here on the home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN 1000.
Here comes the boom. The Chicago Bears podcast. Here comes the boom. If you aren't listening, you're not getting the whole story. Join host Pat the Designer with special guests and guest host daily. See it or hear it now on the ESPN Chicago app or wherever you like to pod. Yeah.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield, and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie from my friends at Window Nation. Don't be left out in the cold. Call my friends at Window Nation today. I used to walk around my kitchen. The floors were freezing. It's because I had drafty windows. I'd get my monthly ComEd bill. It was skyrocketing. That's because I had drafty windows. So I called 866-90-NATION, and guess what? No more drafty windows. And I saved a ton of money doing it. Right now, you can do the same. Save 50% off all style windows. Plus, you'll have no interest payments for 5 full years. So call today, 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION. You're going to open up your energy bills after you get your new insulated windows from Window Nation, and they're going to go down. Or visit windownation.com. You have to act fast. The sale runs through November 30th. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com and let them know that Sylvie sent you.
The future of basketball begins in LaPorte, Indiana. Just an hour drive from Chicago, the LaPorte Invitational returns Thursday, January 9th through Saturday, January 11th at the historic LaPorte Civic Auditorium. This basketball showcase will feature 11 of the country's best high school programs, including Indiana's La Lumiere, Monteverde, Long Island Lutheran, and more. Come see the next generation of basketball stars with over 27 of ESPN's top-ranked recruits. For tickets, go to LaPorteCivicAuditorium.com.
Abdallah, is that your stomach?
I think so. It's been making weird noises all day.
Of course it's your stomach, Adam. Take a hint. I'm starving. Do me a favor, get off your ass, satisfy your hunger, and go get the best damn chicken sandwich you've ever had.
Yeah, perfect idea. I'm off to Fry the Coop. The juicy chicken with the perfect amount of heat and those beef fat fries. Oh, baby.
Man, your stomach has more attitude than you after a Bama loss.
I heard that.
Fry the Coop. 8 Chicagoland locations for your cranky tummy.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Hey, it's Cap. Do you play sports? Do you snore? Your nose might be the problem from a previous injury. I've been there. But Sinus and Snoring MD got me back in shape, helping me breathe easier and sleep better. They treat me like family, and they'll do the same for you. Visit sinusandsnoringmd.com.
ESPN Chicago.
I think early on in the week, I think we could have done better overall of bouncing back after that. I know it's a tough loss. It's tough regardless of who you are in the facility. If you're out there making plays or if you're making decisions up top. And so, being better at that, understanding that we have many more games left after that. Been able to be one, be a family, and move on from that, and have the right leaders, and which we do. We have the right guys to do, things like that, which is bounce back from something like that. We got to do it this week.
That to me was a little bit of an inkling, or a little insight, I should say, into the mind of Caleb Williams, where he let you in early. He said he felt like they could have handled things better at the beginning of the week after the loss. Now, he didn't name names particularly, and I don't expect him to, but I do think that was about as close as you seeing some public criticism from Caleb Williams at this point, And I mentioned it going to break. Look at it. Jalen Johnson, probably, along with Montez Sweat, the best player on your roster in terms of what he brings week in and week out and accomplishments. DJ Moore, right? Cole Kmet, and then Kevin Byard, a longtime veteran in this league. All four of those players had some form of criticism for the coaching staff and or, in Cole Kmet's case, for the players on the roster. And that, to me, that shows you there's a lot of turmoil right now up at Hallis Hall. And, again, we played Matt Eberflus, his halftime speech, where he took the He took the blame for the bad call on the long 53-yard touchdown run.
Credit for that.
That's exactly my point, Pat and J Mac on the post-game show. That's exactly my point, though. You can't just say it's a bad call and that be okay. That's accountability. We need to understand that when you are saying I did something wrong here, and not, like that's. Again, J-Mac pointed it out. Like, the players need to make a play on that play, right? Like, it's a bad call, but fine. It's you still need to make a tackle. So there's lots of issues.
And make a tackle.
Yeah, so you just saying, "Oh, I'm accountable," and he was a little more again. Took the blame in his press conference, which maybe if we have time we'll play in the next hour here. But you can't just say I'm accountable and that be accountability, right? And like Tyreek Stevenson today was benched, did not start the game, missed the first 2 series. Who knows if he would have missed more or if Terrell Smith's injury maybe caused him to get to the field a little bit sooner than they wanted. That I'm not sure about. But the point being that they want to keep everything in-house too, right? DJ Moore even admitted that he got a talking to for going outside and being a little bit public about some of his criticism of the team. So right now, I'll send it to you, J Mac. It just feels like, I know they're professional in that locker room, and they're trying to salvage this season. And you've got a lot of season in front of you, but again, tough schedule. It feels like things are kind of imploding, and they're really going to have to figure out a way to get through this because it's not going to get easier.
Yes, and like I said, it just talks about like the character of the team, right, as a whole, the mindset of the team, right? You talk about cohesiveness, are we truly a family, right? Are we going to band together, rally together despite who's in the lineup, and are we going to go out there and play our tails off and try to play some good football and turn this thing around and get in the W column? I mean, that's the only thing you can do. Or, there's nothing. You can just give up and, continue to get your butt whooped like you did today. And, when there was a time, there are certain situations, right, as a coaching staff and as players, right, we should say it's burn the tape, to where you have a bad game that's so bad, you don't even watch it, right, because you can't get nothing. Yeah, you watch film to learn from your mistakes, but there's some tape that you say, burn the tape, let's forget about it, let's move on to our next opponent. We know we played bad. Let's go out here, burn the tape, let's move on to our next opponent, because all it's going to do is just make you more upset. So this is one of these moments to where I would, if I was a coach, I'd say, you know what, we're going to burn this tape. We ain't going to watch it. All focus on the Patriots. We know we got our tails kicked out there in Arizona. Now we got to do the tail kicking at home at Soldier Field against the Patriots.
And it doesn't get easier for you. Ian Rappaport dropped this 27 minutes ago. Bears right tackle Darnell Wright, who was ruled out today with a knee injury, is believed to have suffered an MCL sprain based on initial tests. Sources said he'll have an MRI Monday to determine the severity. So your quarterback, who has been sacked 29 times this season, does not get any help moving forward.
Brutal blow. Doesn't get any easier, and we have lots of calls, so let's get after it, guys. I've been bogging us down, so let's try Dave, who's in Wisconsin. What's up, Dave-O?
Hi, how you doing?
What's going on, Dave?
Hey, Dave.
Sad about this loss, but you know what? I was thinking that if this game was played in Chicago, we could beat these two teams, the Redskins and the Cardinals. But my other question is, if we meet them in the playoffs, we have to go there to Washington or Arizona. Do you see a different Bears team, and what changes do you see?
Boy, Dave,
you got us still in the playoffs, dog.
Dave, you got the hopium flowing well tonight, my friend. My goodness.
I like the hopium.
I mean, I'm sorry. One. Thank you. But listen, I need to hit at that because I have a hard time getting my head wrapped around that scenario just yet. It's going to be hard to go to the playoffs for the Bears until they find a way to win a road game here or there.
Yeah.
And that is not in the cards right now.
Listen, the playoffs aren't even a conversation for you. I said this on the podcast this week. This was a must-win kind of game because you're not only losing traction in your own division, that's still the toughest division in football, but you're losing traction in the NFC as a whole. You just dropped 2 games versus 2 NFC teams that probably will be competing for that final playoff spot. That's a bad place to be right now. And, I mean, playoffs are only a conversation if all of a sudden you go on a Lions 2021, 2022 run, where Dan Campbell, they're 1-7 and then 7-1 to finish the seaon, and it's going to be somebody else helping you get in there. Playoffs aren't even a conversation. And I'll say this just to answer the question: you're going to have a tough time beating the Patriots next week with the offensive line that you're putting in front of Caleb Williams.
Let's try Matt, who's in Streamwood. Hey, Matt, you're on with J-Mac, Pat the designer, and Jeff Miller. What's up, Matty?
Hey, Miller, Pat, and Mr. McKee, thanks for taking my phone call. May I ask you guys, I'm just confused. Did we have to go in on 4th and 11 to start the fourth quarter? I mean, did we have to give DeAndre Swift when we were on the 1 yard line? He's 6 yards back in the end zone. Do we have to do a draw play to DeAndre? Does Matt Eberflus ever ask Shane Waldron, what are we doing here? Are you looking at? That's why I say, Miller, when I called Carmen Sylvie this week and said it's time for Matt Eberflus to give up the DC and be a damn head coach for this team. This team needs a head coach. They need Eric Washington to be the DC, and Matt Eberflus. This ship is going down like the Titanic, and he needs to be a head coach. And just to take a step back and think, what are we doing here? Exactly. And I'm totally confused, guys. Do we even have any tight ends on this team right now? Because I'm being serious because once again we have Cole Kmet. What does Cole Kmet have? One catch in the past 2 games? I totally forgot. I totally forgot he's 85. I'm I don't even see him. I don't even see him anymore. He's not even in the picture. And we have Mercedes Lewis on his team, and once again he causes us problems because he doesn't practice. They give him a Veterans Day off because they say he's too old, he can't practice. So, and we have Gerald Everett. So, just for Ryan Poles, when it goes time for this season, we need tight ends that produce for this team. This team is not talented enough to have Mercedes Lewis at 40 years old to be on this team to be, man, if he wants to practice, okay, maybe not. This team needs help. So, for me, just saying, I heard Ryan Poles say this before, guys, before I get off the phone, and said it before that they learned that Justin wasn't their quarterback in November. It's time to move off for Justin. The same thing for Matt Eberflus. I think we have our they better start getting their thing with their head coaches. They start with Ben Johnson and start getting that list going together with our head coaches. So thank you guys. I'm just frustrated. So
are we going to get polls at the end of the season when we hire a new coach and he's like, when did you know you wanted a new coach? I just remember that Ben Johnson run of 2020. We're wait a minute, it was 4 years ago. That's what he said about Caleb. It's when did you know you wanted Caleb? I just remember watching that Heisman season. The Heisman season. No. We had a quarterback after that. Wait a minute.
A lot of salient points there from Matt and Streamwood. Like I said, we got plenty of Daves on the line. Let's go to Dave in Westchester.
Let's do it.
Hey, Dave, you're on with J Mac and Pat the designer Miller. What's up?
Hey. Hey, so you guys really stole my thunder. I'm so glad you're talking about this in particular because you can see it in every game. The guy has no time to throw. And Matt Eberflus, when he hires Shane, he keeps the one guy on the offensive line, the coach that, I don't know if I'm seeing something wrong, but Justin was under pressure every year he's been here also. I mean, he never really he avoided a lot of sacks, but they're not coaching. Larry Borum's been here for some time, and he doesn't know. It wasn't like a lack of athleticism. It was just he didn't know which guy to block. Yeah. These coaches aren't really coaching them up in a way where they're getting better. These guys have been here for a while, and they're just, I don't know what they've seen in the past that led them to keep this guy, and maybe I'm wrong on that, but I mean, that one guy, I thought that was the biggest problem with the offense the last couple of years was the offensive line.
Yeah. I mean? It's tough. It's tough, what you're saying is a real valid point. And I think Coach Morgan's a good offensive line coach, but at the same time, you got to have guys that can actually execute the protection call. How many times have we seen, guys left wide open because there's a mistake, right? You got a guy gapping down, on the nose when he's supposed to be, looking for that linebacker that's blitzing from the second level. Or how many times have we seen a guy just get overpowered at the point of attack and ran over on a bull rush, right? So it's tough. I'm not in that building. I'm not in the huddle to say, hey, Coach Morgan's not developing these guys. He's not calling the right protection schemes. I think, they thought enough of him to retain as a coach, but it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see moving forward. Is it Coach Morgan, or does he just not have the guys that can execute the protections that's being called?
That's so tough though, because Darnell Wright's taking a clear step back this season.
Yeah,
he's taking a clear step back. Braxton Jones, you believed in him enough to bring him back, but he's taken a step back in a sense. Tevin Jenkins hasn't had a good season on top of him being beat up. Like there is a lot of development questions with this offensive line.
Yeah, but it's also development as a player on your own, right? Braxton Jones, right? What is your weakness? You can't absorb force.
He told everyone.
It's so Coach Morgan, okay, I'm teaching you how to anchor down and absorb a bull rush. But in the off season, you might want to lift some weights so that way you're strong enough to absorb force and be able to withstand the bull rush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It works hand in hand. So it's a coach developing player, but it's also the player has to take the onus and improve himself as a player and make sure he's ready in the off season to address his weaknesses. I mean, it all ties together.
There's also, though, too, a physical limitation on certain guys. There's a reason why Braxton Jones, was hanging around there. And the one thing I'll get back to, this is where it falls on Ryan Poles' shoulders a little bit here, is that you wonder, does he hang on to guys and put them in positions where he's hoping they're successful because their success then reflects well on him? If he's able to find a starting left tackle in Braxton Jones, if he's unable to unearth him late in the draft, all of a sudden that's an extra feather in his cap, right? If Velus Jones turns into something as a player and he gave him every opportunity to do so, then his resume looks better. That's the one thing I'm starting to wonder about Ryan Poles is, are you giving the players you've projected to be good way too much leash because you want to be right? Like there needs to be,
But I think here's the thing, though, Jeff, right? Like, let's be real. There's a difference in what you did this season and what you did with Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones is a 5th-round pick. Let's make no mistake about it. I kill him a lot because I think he gets pushed back into the quarterback. For a 5th-round pick, he has developed tremendously.
Absolutely.
He'd be a starter in the NFL.
Well,
my concern
he'd be a great swing tackle, though.
For sure. My concern is, though, that you're so in on Braxton Jones that you're willing to take another project of a player in the 3rd round who comes in with prior injury concerns. J-Mac, you know better than anybody. Usually when those big guys get hurt, they don't magically just find ways to get healthier throughout their careers.
Back
you know
injuries.
what I mean? We just love these back injury guys. That to me is where the sin. You found a gem in the 5th round. No one's going to tell you didn't. You turned him into something better than what we probably ever thought he was going to be. That doesn't mean that you do that in the 3rd round. That doesn't mean that you just say, well, he's good enough. That's my problem with this team right now. So much is good enough. Ryan Bates is good enough. Coleman Shelton, he's 1,000 snaps. That's good enough. That'll get us through this year. Caleb Williams has been sacked 29 times. We've got a lot of games left. He's on pace for 60 sacks this season.
That's Pat the Designer. He hosts the Bears podcast. You can catch it every day on the ESPN Chicago app. I'm Jeff Meller. We've got Jason McKee, who's in his hotel after being on the sidelines of a Bears 29-9 loss to the Arizona Cardinals. First time the Bears lose in Arizona since 1998. It's been a while. Plenty more to do. Plenty more to do. Talking about a Bears loss right here on your home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN 1000.
The new home of the Bears.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This Veterans Day, Great Clips will honor the men and women of our armed services, active duty and retired. With what else? Yes, a free haircut. But with a twist. Veterans can receive a free haircut on Veterans Day, but that isn't enough. Great Clips will enlist their army of customers. Between now and Veterans Day, Great Clips will give a free haircut certificate for veterans, valid until December 1st to their customers. Great Clips customers can personally thank a veteran for their service. You get your haircut, you get a certificate, you give that to a veteran, and they get a free haircut. Great Clips hopes to provide over 300,000 free haircuts this year. So go to Great Clips today, check in online, and get a Ready Next text when you are next. Great Clips, it's gonna be great, and it's gonna feel extra great to give back this Veterans Day. All salons are independently owned and operated.
At Busey Wealth Management, we're proud to partner with individuals, families, and foundations, ensuring possibilities become achievements. From preserving and enhancing your assets to securing your legacy for future generations, we're focused on your success. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Chicago winters can be brutal, but thanks to my friends at Field Shear, staying warm has never been easier. Their heated jackets, gloves, and socks with mobile warming technology keep me comfortable no matter how cold it gets. The best part, I can control the heat right from my phone. Whether I'm heading to work, out with friends, or just tackling the day, Field Shear has me covered. And right now, they've got you covered with 30% off site-wide with promo code ESPN30. Head to fieldshear.com and use promo code ESPN30 and stay warm all season long.
Don't miss the game because you're climbing a ladder to clean out your gutters. Whether you're tired of unclogging gutters or you don't even know what your gutters look like, it's time to upgrade to a permanent solution with Leaf Filter. Right now, you can save up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/football. Clogged gutters aren't just a nuisance. They can cause extensive problems like flooding, roof damage, rotting siding, foundation issues, and more. Leaf Filter uses award-winning patented technology to keep out everything but water. Don't miss the game. Protect your home and never clean out gutters again with Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system. Schedule your free inspection and get up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/football. That's a free inspection and up to 30% off at leaffilter.com/football. See representative for warranty details. Illinois State University offers more than 150 majors, from accounting to zoology, and they're adding new areas of study all the time. Apply today to one of their new programs in engineering, sports communication, or data science, or check out all their offerings at illinoisstate.edu/majors.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards RealFit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Disaster in the desert for the Chicago Bears, a devastating 29-9 loss that has left a lot of fans wondering what to make of this season, and I do believe it has Matt Eberflus searching for answers, and a lot of Bears fans wondering if he is indeed the answer as the head coach. Well, I think actually, based on our sampling, it's most Bears fans have come to their conclusion. We shall see what it will take for Ryan Poles to come to his. Let's go on out. Keep taking calls here. Let's head on out to Bridgeport and say good evening to Steve. What's up, Steve? You're on with J Mac, Pat the Designer, and Jeff Meller. What's up?
What's happening, Steve?
Hey, man. What's going on, guys? Yeah, it is. This is not a great feeling today. This is brutal. We can keep talking about, changing the coaching staff, changing the coordinators, changing quarterback, changing everything about the aspect of this team. The only thing that doesn't change is the people that are making the decisions in the top of the office, whether it be executives, and even that has changed at points. It comes down to, who is evaluating really the operational side of this, and it really does come down to the McCaskey family. And they've never been able to make a decision on this. They've always had to get a third-party source to come in and figure out these roles for them. And it's just becoming a thing where, it keeps happening again and again and again, the same things over and over again. And I know everybody talks about, well, they're such great people, the McCaskey family. They're great people. They're great owners. They're great to their the players, to any sort of administrators. This is great and all if you're running, if you're CEO of like Deloitte or something like that, but this is a professional football team. The results are in wins and losses. And if you can't produce that, either one, sell the team, or two, get a real operational person in here that can really work on the football side. And it has to come down to that because it's going to keep happening. It is going to keep happening. The same decision makers are in that building. It's a shame. A team like this. Oh, you go.
But you got three football people in there now. It's not the same. Ryan Poles is a football guy. Ian Cunningham is a football guy. Kevin Warren is absolutely a football guy and a heck of a businessman as well. I don't think that it's the same as the McCaskies have been. I think, in fact, George has done an excellent job of getting the heck out of the way. I think that he's the first one to go, listen, I make a lot of money off of this team, but I don't know what I'm looking at. So I need somebody that does.
It's a fair point. I think what we'll see, Steve, here, and J-Mac, you can weigh in too, but I think maybe the true litmus test will be this offseason, if it continues to go in the direction that it's been headed so far, it will be, listen, Ryan Poles clearly wanted, he was comfortable with Matt Eberflus. He had how much impact he had in hiring him. I don't exactly know. None of us actually will. Yeah. How much of it was his choice and how much of it was, hey, we like this guy. And he signed off on it. Yeah. We're not quite sure if it was truly his choice, but I think what we've seen at every opportunity over the last few years here is that Ryan Poles has done everything he can to support Matt Eberflus. And so now it's going to get very difficult because the expectations have absolutely been raised with the drafting of Caleb Williams and the roster, the talent procurement has been, vast over the last couple of off seasons. And so now their expectations was, I think, most fans would say they were hoping for a playoff berth. And that really does look like it's far away right now, the way the schedule lines up. So what will Ryan Poles do? Because we've seen plenty of hiccups along the way that I think a lot of us would put directly on Matt Eberflus. So what is Ryan Poles going to do? And to Steve's question about the McCaskies being involved, and this will be Kevin Warren's first real opportunity to step in and say, hey, listen, Ryan, I understand you've got a good working relationship with Matt Eberflus. You respect him, what he brings to this facility on a day in and day out basis. However, the results are just not good enough. This job may be a little bit too big for him. And then we'll see what Ryan Poles chooses to do. Because ultimately, if it goes in this direction, I do expect Kevin Warren to be like, listen, it's either going to be Matt Eberflus or or it's going to be both of you guys.
Yeah.
That's probably the way it's headed if Ryan Poles truly doesn't, see the problems that Matt Eberflus is, putting forth week in and week out.
And here's what Kevin Warren sees. There's 2 games this season you should have. We should be talking about you lose this game, right? Another game lost on the road, but you win the Colts game. We're not having this conversation. There are 2 games legitimately that we look at Matt Eberflus and we look at Shane Waldron and we say, you took it from a young rookie who got you in a position to win this game. That's unacceptable. By the way, you did it 3 times last season. 5 NFL games. Are there other things that could lead to it? Sure. Are there other things that are a part of it, players not executing it, different things like that? For sure. But 5 NFL games in 2 years, Kevin Warren has sat there and watched that legitimately you can go, this decision cost you a game. This choice by a coach cost you a game. He's not just going to sit by and be like, oh, yeah, it's going to be fine. Let's just keep running it back. The pressure starts now. Think about this, Jeff. And, yes, you gave up 200 yards today on the ground. But you won the time of possession today. You won the turnover battle.
The turnover battle, that's the one that,
you held Kyler Murray to 154 and no touchdowns. And you
6 rushing yards from Kyler Murray.
29-9.
J-Mac, they lost by 20 points, and they won the turnover battle by 2. Can you ever remember? You were on Lovie Smith's team for a long time. I don't know if you guys ever lost the turnover battle by 2 and won the turnover battle by 2 and then lose by more than like a field goal. That's insanity.
Yeah. Man, I mean, we can talk about all these different scenarios, right? And talk about Flus's job and all this other stuff, right? I mean, they've never fired a coach mid-season. I don't think he's not going to get fired mid-season. He ain't going to get fired next week. A lot of football left to be played. And, I mean, guys, you got to find a way to win a game. You got to find a way to win a game, and that starts next week against the Patriots team at Soldier Field. You have to win that game.
Yeah.
Period.
There is no doubt about that. I can't even – oh, boy. If we're doing this show next week after another loss, boy, oh, boy, things are going to be bad. Let's try Chase, who's on the south side. What's going on, Chase?
Hey, fellas, what's going on? How you guys doing?
Been better, Chase. Been better.
Hey, Chase. We're all right, man.
Man, I'm going to just tell you guys right now, I think right now we kind of living in the worst-case scenario right now. The reason why I say that is because you look at not only are we at the halfway point where there's no type of identity. I mean, it looks like the team is quitting on the coach. And now the worst case is that the division is getting stronger by the minute. And so, J-Mac, I got to ask you a question. Like, I really need to ask you something. As you watch this team in the sidelines, you watch the play calling, like, do you ever just wonder, like, why isn't Waldron calling? Like it's obvious we see it, and we see it on the screen that the offensive line are just not blocking at all. And Caleb has no time, no chance at all. So, if you're an offensive play caller, wouldn't you say, okay, obviously we're not winning our one-on-one matchups. So wouldn't you try to move the pocket, get the ball out quicker, say to yourself, you know what, we have to protect our quarterback because we can't afford him to get hurt. So we got to call scheme or plays to protect our quarterback because obviously our O-line isn't protecting. And I just wonder why aren't they calling more bootlegs and rollouts and just getting the ball and calling plays to protect the quarterback because obviously he's getting hit every time he drops back. It's just drop back, drop back, drop back. That's all it is. And there's no movement. There's no movement of the pocket.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah, I agree, Chase. I think, when the defense knows where that launch point is in terms of where that quarterback is setting up in that pocket, they're trying to get to their mark. So you've got to change the launch point, right? What does that mean? Boots, rollouts, all of those type of things, right? And there's times he does it, but then he gets away from it. And there's times on third down I'm wondering why Cole Kmet isn't in the game. I got to go back and watch the coach's film to see how many third downs today was Cole not in the game. How can we not find ways to get, another playmaker the ball? That I wonder, that's a big question mark that I have, right? Another question mark I have, if you're struggling protection, especially against a solid defensive end, why not put the tight end, on the same side as that struggling tackle, right? Why not have the tight end on Larry Borum's side to make sure that that defensive end, just doesn't have a one-on-one matchup on Larry Borum, especially when he's struggling. Or make sure you have a back right there to chip. And I did see some of that today with Roshan, but, just different things that, it makes you scratch your head a little bit. And, it's tough because when you do get rhythm, what happens? Self-inflicted mistakes.
Yes.
We get a penalty. We saw that in the first drive.
Illegal formation.
10-play drive.
Yep.
Yeah, illegal formation. The first 10-play drive resulted in a punt, and we were in the red zone. We couldn't get 3 points out of that. It's tough. Like I said, we just can't get out of our own way. But there is a lot of question marks offensively that I do have with this team.
Let's head on to Texas, Austin, Texas, where Robert is. What's up, Robert?
Did you get an accent there for a second?
Maybe. I don't know.
Robert, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, good evening. Thank you for taking my call. Bears fans since 1971. I have a couple comments. The Bears rank 31 out of 32 teams in first quarter point score this year.
Yep.
They're averaging 1.4 points per game, and that's a demonstration that the coaches don't have the team prepared at the start of the game. They don't have a discernible game plan offensively, strategy, and they weren't prepared to start the season the first game this year or last year. That's the coach's responsibility. They get paid millions and millions of dollars a year, and they're failing. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Eberflus should have been fired after his first year. He definitely needs to go, and Waldron, and get an interim coach. My second comment is piggybacking on the previous caller on McCaskies. In 2015, Ryan Pace, who had his challenges, by the way, as we all know, wanted to hire Dan Quinn as head coach, but Phillips and McCaskey made him hire Fox, an older seasoned coach. We know how that turned out. Then in this last coaching change here, Quinn was to be interviewed again. He was passed over for Eberflus by McCaskey and Phillips. The Bears interviewed Cliff Kingsbury, and they hired Waldron instead of Kingsbury. Now, Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator of the Commanders, who are 7-2.
Yep.
And then now the Bears passed over on Jaden Daniels for Caleb Williams, although I can't put all the blame on Williams because he's obviously suffering from bad coaching. But Jaden Williams has a 7-2 record. Dan Quinn's their head coach. Kingsbury, their offensive coordinator. And Jaden Daniels had a 128 quarterback rating today, and Caleb Williams 68. So 3 strikes, you're out. So I think as long as the McCaskies are at the head of the organization, you're not going to have the opportunity to be successful with the Chicago Bears.
Well, listen, Robert, the one thing I'll say is I can't argue with the history of the Bears, especially over the last 25 years or so. It has been problematic. But I'll go back to listen, they brought in Kevin Warren to be the president of football operations. The hope is, and he hasn't really been around for a hiring cycle. If you want to be critical of the fact that they did it again, where they hired out of order, right? Like you hired Kevin Warren after Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles were already in place. I think it's fair to be critical of that. But until we see Kevin Warren actually have his fingerprints on this, a hiring process, I'm not going to say it can't be solved. Because I do think the McCaskies, they've ceded the power to him going forward. Yeah. And so we'll see what he's actually able to do with the opportunity and what he wants to do.
I think you also have to take into account, he brings up Cliff Kingsbury, brings up, right, like all of these names.
Dan Quinn.
Listen, you could have brought Sean McVay in here and he couldn't call an offense behind this offensive line. You could have brought the best offensive minds. You could have brought Jaden Daniels to Chicago. You know what Jaden Daniels would have? 29 sacks.
You have to make it a priority.
We can sit here and be upset at the play callers. We can sit here. We've done this. We've been in this cycle for so long. Nothing's going to change until you address the positions that matter most. And for some reason, the fat dudes that keep our quarterback upright never are important.
Yeah, no, again, I was a little naive. I will freely admit I was naive and a little too trusting of Ryan Poles this offseason. I was hoping that with a quarterback who I thought was more decisive in Caleb Williams, that the line would just naturally play a little bit better with a guy who was more inclined to maybe recognize what he was seeing and get rid of the ball. And then I was hoping that would also highlight some of the players that Ryan Poles selected personally as the guys he thought would be nice gems. That has not played out at all. And so, to your point, what the first thing that Jim Harbaugh does wherever he goes, he fixes the offensive line immediately. Right, J-Mac?
Left side.
He said,
but look at.
Go ahead.
Well, look at the best team, Jeff. Look at the best team in our division.
Yep.
What is their strength? What is their strength?
Best offensive line in football.
Running the football.
What is their strength?
Their offensive line. Their offensive line.
Meanwhile, J-Mac's on the Chicago Bears podcast just going, look at the left tackle.
Yeah.
Look at the left tackle.
It starts up, Pat. It starts up front. There's no secret. There's no magic formula. It starts up front on both sides of the ball. You cannot build a team from the outside in on either side of the ball. You can't build a team with your secondary and negate the pass rush. It doesn't work. You cannot build an offense without building that offensive line first. You can't build a team and say, hey, I'm going to get this wide receiver, I'm going to get this wide receiver, I'm going to get this quarterback. That's going to overcome the issues we had in the offensive line. It doesn't work.
And listen,
it's football. It's football.
Although Detroit did kind of do it, I guess they kind of did it backwards, right? Because they traded for Goff first.
Oh, no, but Sewell, they drafted Penei Sewell before.
Wasn't that the same year they got Goff?
Listen, Goff wasn't someone they sought out. Goff was merely
he was their bridge guy that they were gonna.
But he wasn't even a bridge guy. It was simply to make the money work. The Rams needed them to take Goff so that they could make Stafford work under their cap. And so for their trouble, they got 2 first-round picks. They got basically an extra first-round pick in that trade for Stafford so that they would take the Goff contract. Yeah. And all of a sudden now Jared Goff throws more touchdown passes than he does incompletions.
He's the MVP.
And listen, but this goes back to it. When you have protection, Jared Goff was the number 1 overall pick in a draft for a reason. He's got a lot of talent, and things went a little sideways. Sean McVay, listen, we make these guys out to be geniuses, head coaches. It doesn't mean that they're infallible, right?
Yeah.
Sean McVay, I think for all of his great things that he does as a coach, I do think that being in Goff's headset, and calling out plays and where to go with the ball probably short-circuited Jared Goff a little bit in some ways.
Yeah.
And so
you needed the vet.
Yeah, fine, it worked out great. They won a Super Bowl with Stafford. But I do think Jared Goff is showing you that he, that position, and we get right back to where we're at. You need to be protected and put in the right position to succeed. And until the Bears fix the offensive line, it's going to be a vicious cycle that they can't get out of.
Forget Jared Goff.
Well,
Look at this guy.
How else is he being protected?
Protected with the run game.
By an adequate running game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
and then how good does a quarterback look when you've got a running game that scares the hell out of a defense, and all of a sudden they're overcommitting, and then the play action just opens everything up. That's why Jared Goff can go on for about a month and throw 13 incompletions in 4 games and something like 15 touchdowns. 312-332-3776, taking your calls on the post-game show after a 29-9 loss in the desert for the Chicago Bears.
Can't miss radio. Hear directly from the head coach of the Bears, Matt Eberflus, as he breaks down the Bears game with Cap and J Hood at 9:40 a.m. Monday, exclusively on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago and the ESPN Chicago app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Few Whiskey. Have you met us? Few is born of defiance and comes from Evanston, the town where the temperance movement started and prohibition lasted until 1972. Here at Few, we make whiskey the only way we know how, our way. We use an iconic 70-20-10 mash bill. We mash, ferment, distill, bottle, and age all right here in Chicagoland. Few makes Chicago-style whiskeys for Chicago whiskey drinkers. Few Spirits, Incorporated 2011, 46.5% alcohol by volume. Evanston, Illinois, 60202.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
With over 20 years of generous community support, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans and their families with no-cost services, legislative advocacy, and more. And we're just getting started. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
LoadSmart offers you a fresh canvas,
empowering you to take control of your supply chain. Instantly price, book, and ship with guaranteed capacity tailored to your unique needs. LoadSmart's automated solutions eliminate the chaos of manual processes, giving you the freedom to design a more efficient, cost-effective operation. Whether it's FTL, LTL, PTL, expedited, or drayage, LoadSmart helps you shape your logistics your way. Join the likes of Amazon Freight, Cabot Creamery, and Scott's Miracle Grow to move more with less at loadsmart.com/ESPN.
ESPN Chicago.
Back next to Caleb, takes the snap. A little bit of a strong rush coming. They get him from down behind. Ran out of time and space. Arizona were monitoring him if he left the pocket and then bringing some heat on top of it, and they finished the job. 8 on the play clock. In the shotgun, back to his left. Snap back, 4-man rush. Late pressure coming. Borum gives it up, and down he goes. Stills got in there, and so did one of their outside linebackers, Zaven Collins. Another sack for Arizona in the first minute of the third quarter. 1 to the near side in terms of receivers, and there are 5 Cardinals at the line of scrimmage. They're all coming. Kaiser White kind of a spy. He's in trouble. Caleb sacked again. And that's going to give Arizona a heck of a start in terms of field position. Sacked again. Collins in there, and they were coming with heat.
Another 3-pack of sacks. 6 on the day for Caleb Williams. No protection for him as Arizona beat the Bears 29-9. Caleb Williams goes 22 of 41 for 217 yards. No touchdowns as they can only muster 3 field goals, and again, bogging down inside the red zone when they had the opportunity. Although I guess ultimately, how many red zone trips were there? Because actually, Cairo Santos did hit a couple of 53-yarders, and they did take themselves out of field goal range as well early in the game. All in all, just not good enough from the Bears' offense, the offensive line in particular, and then the defense also culpable because when they had an opportunity, they were fighting their way back late in the second quarter, fought their way back to 14-9 with an opportunity to get the ball back to start the second half. The defense goes ahead and allows a 53-yard touchdown run by Amari DiMercato with just 9 seconds remaining in the half, and that was the back-breaking play that ultimately gave the Cardinals a 21-9 halftime lead. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat, the designer, in the studio. We've got Jason McKee, who was on the sidelines in Arizona, live from his hotel room as he takes in another loss on the road under Matt Eberflus as the Bears head coach. I did want to play this before we get out of here. Jay Glazer did give us the inside scoop on Tyreek Stevenson on the Fox pregame show this morning.
Has there been any fallout with him and the Bears?
Oh, yeah. And Stray's talking about it under his breath because that's what's going on in that Bears locker room. So here's the deal. They're benching him today. He's being demoted. He's not starting. But on Wednesday, when he found out he wasn't starting, he actually pulled himself out of practice. That didn't exactly go over great inside that locker room. We talked about Anthony Richardson getting his teammates' trust back. Same for Tyreek Stevenson.
So that was the report nationally on the Fox pregame show before the noon kick. So a lot of attention, high-profile stuff there. I will point out that Courtney Cronin did have a long tweet regarding Jay Glazer's report, and I'll just share this with our listeners so they have more context. And she tweeted out, again, this was after the Glazer report was put out on Fox, 12:01 today from Courtney Cronin. Bears coaches and execs arrived at the decision to not start Stevenson on Tuesday and relayed that to the cornerback before Wednesday's practice, which was a walkthrough. I'm told that Stevenson did leave practice after the stretching period to gather himself after learning of his demotion from the starting lineup, but returned to practice after a couple of minutes inside the locker room and came back out for the team periods during walkthrough. While Stevenson's teammates have expressed frustrations over how things went down in Washington, there wasn't anything confrontational due to the cornerback leaving walkthrough before returning. The plan for Stevenson today will be to rotate in, similar to how the Bears used Terrell Smith in Washington last week. This isn't a permanent benching by any means. Sources I spoke with this morning and this week have indicated to me that the Bears have a strong belief in Stevenson and want to help him want to hold him accountable and allow him to move past his actions that took away his focus from the Commanders game. So there you go. That is the inside scoop from Courtney Cronin in regards to Jay Glazer's report on Fox.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the one thing I'll give credit to Tyreek. First off, great context by Courtney because Jay definitely made it sound like
Reek
was like creating havoc in there. Bears Twitter blew up. Courtney, you're doing a great job giving the context there. I think here's the thing. You can tell because he needed a moment to compose himself. It meant something to him. That means that it probably is a punishment that is worth what he did, right? Which was bad when you break down every bit of it. The fact that he was supposed to be the box out man who's guarding the guy who catches the ball. He tips the ball into that guy's hands.
Tips
all
it
of that.
Tips it up, not down.
I think up into his hands, yes. I think what's is very tough about this is, and what a lot of the conversation was this week, especially from the other players in that locker room, is, okay, that's fine. We're holding ourselves accountable. We're fine holding Tyreek accountable. Where's the accountability for you guys? Where's the accountability for Shane running handing the football off to a center on first or on 3rd and 1? Where's the accountability on the coaches and not stepping in to change decisions, on calling the wrong play? And I understand you're gonna make mistakes as coaches, you're gonna make mistakes as players. That's all together. But today felt like a game coming off of the week that we just had where, I don't know, man. Like, it didn't feel like a defense that didn't have the talent to do it. It felt like a defense that was like, listen,
they tried until they tried and they were doing well until they weren't. Again, that DeMercado run at the end of the second quarter, I thought was really, really eye-opening and not a good look for the defense and the Bears coaching staff. You want to take accountability. The players not making tackles on a bad call, that also reflects poorly on you.
Yeah.
So all in all, the one thing I'll say too, J-Mac, is that it wasn't good for the Bears. I don't believe there's not much they could have done about it unless they maybe would have had different answers earlier in the week. But we were still talking about the Washington game late on Thursday into Friday, right? And listen, I know inside Hal's Hall they were trying to move past it, but it was such a difficult loss, and the answers that were coming were not satisfying to anybody, that the conversation just carried on throughout the week. And that in itself, maybe you can speak to this as what it's like in a player, that makes it hard to just move past it sometimes.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying, earlier on in the show, burden take, right? Because you're still fighting a battle. You're still analyzing and going over a game that's already been played that you lost, right? Yeah. Instead, your whole entire focus should be focusing on Arizona Cardinals, but there's still the cloud over you talking about a Hail Mary play, right? And Tyree Stevenson, right? And all this other stuff, right? I've never met a player or played with a player that was happy about getting benched. Like Pat said, if that player, if they said, Tyreek, you're not starting, and he was like, okay, then there's something wrong. You know what I mean? He should be pissed off. I'm glad he had to go in and gather his thoughts because it means something to him, right? He wants to be out there making plays. He's a competitor. And I'm not making an excuse for this guy. He's a young guy, and he has to learn from his mistakes. But he is a competitor. He made some plays out there today. He's going to make plays. He's going to give up plays. It's football. He's a football player. But at the end of the day, like I said, even with this game, you got to burn the tape, right? Because you have to get ready for a Patriots team at home, right? And if you sit there and you overanalyze a game in which you got your butt kicked, right, you're not going to be able to put this game behind you and focus in on the next one. So sometimes, as a coaching staff, as bad as it is, as a coach, you want to evaluate every snap. You want to, try to find ways you can grow from it. Well, there's another way you can grow from a loss, right? Burn the tape and focus on the next opponent and go out there and be prepared to win again, that you have to win at home against the Patriots.
We've got Holden, who's in Scottsdale, Arizona, who wants to ask a question that I know Pat was wondering himself. What's going on, Holden? You're on the post game on ESPN 1000.
Hey, guys, thank you so much. Great show. I've been a Cardinal season ticket holder since 2003, and one thing that definitely the Bears blew tonight, I've never seen, it had to be 70% of that crowd were Bear fans, and unfortunately, we had nothing to cheer for today at all. The place was ready to explode in the beginning, and nothing happened. But the question I have is, what did happen to Cole Kmet? And I know I'm oversimplifying it, but there's definitely a correlation. When the Bears do good, it's when Cole Kmet's doing good. How come he wasn't even targeted? And you would think he'd be one of the first people that would be involved in the offense. And then the last thing real quick, and I'll hang up here, is with 5 minutes to go, the game was clearly out of hand. Your biggest asset is Caleb Williams. Why was he still in the game, and why not give Bagent a couple more reps? Because you never know when you're going to have to call on him. And thanks for listening.
Thanks, Holden.
5 minutes, I think, is I wouldn't have pulled him at 5 minutes. Because, right, you could still be working on something. You're trying to get him now with what we know about Darnell Wright, you're trying to get him some work in with the offensive line that's probably going to be in front of him heading into next week, right? The big Jack Curran guy out there on the right side for you. But
oh boy, J-Mac's not happy about this situation.
But
you're working on what, Pat?
I don't know, J-Mac. I'm trying.
What are you working on?
J-Mac, I don't know. I'm trying.
Get your damn quarterback killed. Get your quarterback out of there. Damn, like I don't. Okay, I'm done.
No, that's it.
That is it.
We got a lot of calls.
Come on, 5 minutes. The game's out.
Yeah.
Game's done. Okay? And get him out of there.
I was trying to throw him a bone. The last one though, and here's my problem. The last one where you can clearly see he's banged up.
Yes, that's
not pulling him out of the game is a fireable offense. And if you didn't see that he was banged up. If you didn't see he's banged up, hey J-Mac, I got it. Next time you're on the sideline, I'm gonna send a box of glasses with you.
I wanted to go grab him and take him out of the game. I wanted to go grab him. Like, come on, man, let's go in the locker room.
I'm gonna send a box of glasses with you so that we can so that Flus can see what's going on out on the field.
Let's try.
You saw it.
Yeah, no, listen, no more needs to be said. I think you hit it on the nose, J-Mac. Let's try Mark, who's in Northwest Indiana. Marco, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I got a comment and a question for you. You know, this was the first Sunday where I actually had a chance to watch the game live instead of hearing you guys cover it or hearing, ESPN 1000 cover it. And it's almost more disappointing to see it happen than to listen and hear it happen, My question is, you look at DJ Moore this season, he almost looks sad. He's kind of sitting on the sideline sometimes by himself or walking off the field by himself just because he can't do what it feels like he was meant to do. His bread and butter seems to be the long ball, and that's what he had with, Justin Fields. And obviously his chemistry with Justin Fields is undeniable. Do you guys think that Caleb Williams has that sort of chemistry with any of the players, or if he's going to be able to develop that, once we get through the offensive line problems and the coaching problems, So it almost feels like he's a little robotic in his plays. He's just looking. He's not. It really doesn't seem like he's got a man that he's working with or any of his targets he's got a real connection with.
There's one massive one. He got 0 targets today.
With Cole?
Cole Kmet has caught, let me make sure of this, 80+% of his passes from Caleb Williams this season.
Well, the only thing, listen, with Cole Kmet, when the Bears get behind, this is where you can ask questions about Cole Kmet not getting targeted. But I think in the rhythm of the offense, when you're trying to storm a late comeback and you're trying to throw down the field and pick up those chunk plays, that's not necessarily going to be Cole Kmet's bread and butter. So it needs to be more of a priority to get him involved earlier in the game. Yeah. I think that's key. Once they're down at the half, whatever, the game is... You're chasing, and the reality is you can get upset about the numbers, but what you really need to be more upset about is how you found yourself in that position to begin with, because you never want to be trailing a game by 11 points at halftime, because listen, more times than not, you're going to lose that football game. You need to have better starts, whether it's scripting the plays better with Shane Waldron or finding, better compliments off of what you're running when you run those first 15 scripted plays, or if you're actually still even doing that. We got that unclear weird answer where, I'm trying to remember what game, was it against the Rams maybe, where they were asked about scripting and then they said they don't necessarily.
That was before. That was the game. Indianapolis, after Indianapolis.
Okay, that's right.
Going into the Rams because all of a sudden we started scripting. By the way, the script don't work either, so get off of that too. Like going to the script and being off the script, nothing changed at all. The script may be worse, if we're being honest.
Yeah, listen, and the other thing is DJ Moore, he had 1,300 receiving yards. He had 96 catches last season. He had a monster year. He had 8 touchdowns. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Bears, as a team, had 3,096 passing yards. As good as a season as it was individually for DJ Moore, it wasn't good enough. The passing offense wasn't good enough in this NFL to be a playoff caliber team. So as good as that season was, it came at the expense of every other target on the team. Yeah. So you can't have that either. You need to find a happy medium where you're throwing for 4,000 yards and you're sprinkling it around to a bunch of different options.
Well, this is the thing. So you'll never be a playoff team if you can't overcome your own mistakes, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about penalties. We talked about it, the illegal formation, right? Then you come back, you get a leverage call on Javon Dexter, right? That was
That's a killer. Leverage.
Listen, that's been a point of emphasis this year. And it's been a point of emphasis this season. Like you may be, that's a soft penalty, but it's a penalty. And again, point of emphasis. If you've been watching around the league, they've been calling it a lot this year.
Yeah.
So again, this goes back to J-Mac, the coaching. You guys need to be pounding that in the player's head during the week.
Hey, trust me, I'm a high school coach, and we're watching the playoffs this year because of penalties. And and it's tough. It's hard to overcome when you're doing so many good things. You're putting together a 10-play drive, and bam, illegal formation, bam, sack, bam, punt, right? You get a stop, you hold them to a field goal, right? Defense steps up in the red zone again. Oh my goodness, another flag, leverage, first down. You see what I'm saying? Then they score. You're no team is good enough to overcome self-inflicted mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it this year with my team. We had too many costly penalties at timely moments in critical situations. You'll never win. You'll never be a playoff team.
No doubt, no doubt. He's Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat, the designer of the Post-Game Show, taking your calls. One more segment to go. We'll take one more quick timeout, and we'll come back. Big day on Tuesday. We'll tell you about it next.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Hey, it's Cap. Do you play sports? Do you snore? Your nose might be the problem from a previous injury. I've been there. But Sinus and Snoring MD got me back in shape, helping me breathe easier and sleep better. They treat me like family, and they'll do the same for you. Visit sinusandsnoringmd.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
The future of basketball begins in LaPorte, Indiana. Just an hour drive from Chicago, the LaPorte Invitational returns Thursday, January 9th through Saturday, January 11th at the historic LaPorte Civic Auditorium. This basketball showcase will feature 11 of the country's best high school programs, including Indiana's La Lumiere, Monteverde, Long Island Lutheran, and more. Come see the next generation of basketball stars with over 27 of ESPN's top-ranked recruits. For tickets, go to LaPorteCivicAuditorium.com.
Winter is coming, and you know what that means. Tailgates, commutes, and those dog walks are about to get real cold real fast. This winter, you don't need to freeze your butt off. You can gear up with Mobile Warming by Field Cheer, Bluetooth heated apparel that cranks up the heat with just a tap. From socks to gloves to jackets, instant warmth is a button away. So head to fieldcheer.com and feel the heat for yourself. Right now, get 30% off the entire website with promo code ESPN30 at checkout. That's promo code ESPN30 at fieldcheer.com.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Ready for game day? Make your tailgate legendary with Martin's famous potato rolls. These rolls are the MVP of any burger or sandwich. Soft, buttery, and packed with flavor. They are the ultimate game changer. Score big with Martin's famous potato rolls. Perfect for your next football feast.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Miller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Wrapping up another Bears loss. They fall to 4-4 after a 29-9 defeat in Arizona against the Cardinals. Bad game every which way you divvy it up. But will there be hope on Tuesday? That is the question. Big day on Tuesday, it, of course, is the NFL trade deadline, which comes your way at 3 o'clock Central Time. Will Ryan Poles, the Bears general manager, be making a deal? Well, he joined Jeff Joniak on the pregame show, as he does each and every week right here on your home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago. And Jeff Joniak asked him, hey, has your phone been ringing?
You know, we made some calls and received a few calls. Nothing's really made sense right now, but we'll see what happens here. You know, on Sunday, things can come through on Sunday, but also Monday morning at the deadline.
You do wonder if the loss will change the Bears' direction in any way. And then a follow-up question was, hey, do you need to be open-minded about all possibilities?
Yeah, you got to stay opportunistic. You got to, you know, pick up the phone and make those calls. You never know what opportunities do pop up, so you got to stay open-minded. And then you also got to look at your own situation in terms of what you need. That changes week to week too. Things happen fast, so even this Sunday can shift for a lot of teams around the league.
Listen,
we
know what you need. We know what you need.
Trade deadlines.
Everyone knows what you need. It's Tuesday. You have to make a deal for. Otherwise, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Injuries too.
If you don't make a deal to try and get some kind of offensive line help, is that not GML practice? Caleb Williams has been sacked 29 times, Jeff, in 9 weeks, and we didn't play one of them.
The problem is, and J-Mac, you can speak to this, like the reality is at the trade deadline to try and fix your offensive line, that is a tall order, my friend.
But you can't just ignore it.
You're just looking to bring some. I mean, I don't know.
Can you just ignore it? Like the other option is you do nothing.
No. Listen, but the thing is, I don't know what. This is definitely a duct tape and super glue situation. If you're trying to trade for a lineman, it's going to be. I don't know if it's an easy solution here.
like we need Gorilla Glue, and we're going to trade for Elmer's. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Pat.
I was going to say, I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I'm not saying that whatever you get isn't just a hopeful quick fix. But here's the reality of it. Caleb might not make it to the week 17 for you to fix your offensive line in the offseason. That's your worst case scenario right now. Your worst case scenario is your quarterback, who got up limping today at the end of that game, by the way, is banged up and he can't finish out the season. Or he goes into the offseason needing something worked on because you sat him back there and let him get his head taken off every single week. This is the third game this season of him being sacked 5 or more times?
No, listen, I can't debate you on the numbers. They're terrible. The offensive line week in and week out is a problem. I just don't know if there's any solutions when the trade deadline rolls around. I'd love to see them add somebody. The problem is no teams are looking. What we're hearing is that Nate Davis might fetch them a draft pick, which just goes to show you how much offensive line is in demand around the league.
Yeah. Like the good teams there are not, especially the teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. And even the bad teams, if they got a guy who's a pillar of their offensive line, they're not even entertaining a deal. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and listen, we're watching the Vikings right now. They lost Christian Darrisaw that last Thursday night when they played, and they went out and traded for Cam Robinson, who you've been reading on social media. It looks like he's actually playing pretty solid for them.
Looks pretty good.
Listen, though, he had a $15 million contract attached to him that they traded for, so you also have to be willing to give up some of your cap room in that scenario. Let's try and wrap up with a few more calls before we get out of here. Let's try Bernie, who's in Algonquin. What's going on, Bernie?
Hey, guys. Listen, the play calling is pathetic. Can't we do something about that, like, right now? Do we have to wait to the end of the season? When you got a bloody nose, you got to stop the flow of blood. It's going to take a while to fix this offensive line problem since we've had since Mitch Trubisky. But can't we change the play calling? And one other point, can Caleb Williams call an audible? Is he allowed to call
he's doing that. Caleb's calling audibles.
Yeah, he's done. He's called those quite a few times, Bernie. And it's just a protection. And and to your point, the play call, you can anoint another play caller. You got Thomas Brown, who was the OC in Carolina.
Yeah.
He was an OC with the Rams. We got Kerry Joseph, who's a quarterback coach. I don't know. I just, like you said, it starts up front. And if you can't protect and give your quarterback time to go through his progressions, then it doesn't matter who's calling plays. He's going to be under fire regardless.
And listen, here's the thing: to stop the bleeding, it's very hard to stop the bleeding when somebody on the other side is still punching you in the nose.
Well, they're not going to.
That's what's happening with the Bears right now.
They're not going to stop punching you in the nose as long as you show them that you're willing to take it, and you're going to have to find a solution. It may have to be internally, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but if you don't, it's going to end up being a wasted year for Caleb Williams as he tries to develop into an actual franchise quarterback for you. That's really the true problem here, is that not that you might miss the playoffs, but that you might waste a year of development of your franchise quarterback because you didn't give him a suitable line in front of him. All right, let's go ahead. Wrap it up with Jay, who's in Homewood. Jay, you're going to be the last call of the night. Thanks for being patient, my man. What's going on?
But see, that's why I disagree. It is a learning experience for him. So, since NFL inception, only 15 quarterbacks, Stroud being the most recent one, only 15 rookie quarterbacks made the playoffs. And so this is a learning process for Caleb. If Caleb was more seasoned, if he had been in the league 2 or 3 years, there's some plays, there's some checkdowns that he would have made. Yeah. He just has to learn. And so I just want everyone to put the brakes on. And that's when in the summertime where everyone was saying, coming out of USC, the guy's going to be this and that. I said, well, he has to develop. And I just think, I know in our desperation to want to win in Chicago, because we haven't won in almost 4 decades, we're not going to give these young players that time. But we had to. You can't accelerate the learning process.
No,
Jay, get better.
You're right, Jay. You're right, and you're right. There are moments where he could, he holds on to the ball a little bit too long at times. That is, he needs to fix that.
2 of the sacks today are on him.
No
doubt
about it.
2 sacks in the first half are his fault.
But 4 is still too many, right?
The 4 in the second half are
not. And Jay, for all the sacks that he does take, there's plenty of ability inside the pocket where you see him avoiding the rush, where he saves the Bears from, registering sacks on their stat total. Yeah. So you're right, Jay. Look, he's going to get better, but I still feel like if he's under siege day after, or down after down, That's not the way you want your rookie to be brought into this league as he tries to develop some chemistry and understanding of what the defense is doing. He doesn't need to be under siege as much as he is. All right, guys, 20 seconds. We've got to wrap it up. Any final words, J-Mac?
Yeah, you guys heard of an artist named Sam Cooke? Change gonna come. I'm just gonna play that for the rest of the night and go to sleep.
There you go.
I'm going home listening to more Many Men.
All right, thanks to Jack McGrath and Kendra Smith. We got to get out of here. Matt Eberflus with Captain J Hood tomorrow at 9:40.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel